Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to
put his tongue up the bung? I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer. Punch me in the junk.
Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah. Bring your body armor.
I ran into my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to The Session. I'm your host, Justin Crosley. I'll be your host today and only today. And then I'm extending my retirement.
Oh.
Notice
You're going extinct.
Notice I've agreed that I'm not starting my retirement. I'm
Correct.
just extending it.
Yeah.
Hitting the road.
You're a bad person at retiring.
I know. I keep coming back and leaving, coming back and leaving. Well, I'm doing that road trip. We're headed to HomebrewCon.
There you go.
Which will be a good time up in Portland, Oregon. You can still get tickets for that over at homebrewcon.org, I think it is. And you come see us there.
So you're thinking it's a one-way trip?
And, I mean, pretty much. My general manager here at the Hop Grenade today was like, well, it was nice knowing you. Pretty much assuming I'll never be back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to Portland, and then I'm just staying on the road. Headed out to Colorado, and then I don't really know. I haven't planned it past that. But I'm driving through Montana. I'm going to go see Phillipsburg. I'm going to go see our friends at Phillipsburg. And I don't know what else. Things. If the RV makes it past Concord, California.
Get out of the state.
So you may not even make it to HomebrewCon.
I mean, I think it's going to be fine.
You got a new set of shoes on the house, right?
I have to get them on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we blew a tire in the RV on the way to Firestone. So what has happened? The window exploded, but we got that fixed. I got most of the leaks fixed. The tires now need to be replaced because they've started exploding.
On the freeway.
Yeah, on the freeway on the way back. That was fun. AAA. Fuck those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
We both have AAA and none of it worked.
Well, let me be clear on something. I've really only ever had 2 jobs in my life. Types of jobs. Either in the beer business or the fucking tire business.
Right.
I was what we call a tire guy.
Call him a tire monkey.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I used to change truck tires. I drove a service truck, and basically I did exactly what I needed. I drove to the people on the side of the road.
Oh, yeah.
Usually it was semi-trucks, but I did the occasional RV.
You used to handle big rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one time
that you knew exactly what needed to be done to fix it, and you couldn't do it yourself.
Well, so
that must have been maddening for you.
It was. I ended up having to do it.
It was hilariously maddening.
Oh, yeah.
I ended up having to do it myself.
All right.
So I have AAA, and I had a spare tire, but I didn't have a jack.
Right. You had jack.
So I'm kind of stuck. So I'm like, no big deal. I'm going to call AAA. They'll come. They'll change the tire. By the way, today's show is brought to you by More Beer. I call AAA, and they say, well, your AAA doesn't cover RVs. All right.
There's a certain RV umbrella you need.
I guess.
Okay.
It's the same fucking tire.
Who would have known?
So, luckily, Beardy's does. Beardy is more prepared than I am.
I read the fine print. So I knew that there was an RV umbrella.
So I'm on the phone. They reject me, and I go, well, let me give you this other number. And they go, oh, yeah, Plus member. Sure.
Probably covers his beard, too.
We can do that. So I give them all the information, and an hour later, they call me. They'll be like, oh, it'll be somewhere between 45 minutes and 90 minutes. An hour later, they call me back, and they say the RV company that we use, the RV tow truck, can't change your tire because they don't have an RV jack. So they can tow you somewhere, and you can wait till tomorrow when that somewhere opens.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second. I want to talk to your RV company. Because there's no such thing as an RV jack. It doesn't exist.
Right.
A fucking jack is a jack is a jack.
Right.
And it either lifts X amount of weight or much more weight, but it's still a goddamn jack.
Yeah.
And it's the one company that they use to do RVs doesn't have a quote-unquote RV jack.
Makes no sense.
Some schlub going, I don't want it. I'm just going to tell this idiot on the phone we don't have RG jacks.
Right.
Now, it's worth noting that on the Sunday that I broke down, the Warriors were playing a game in the finals here in the NBA playoffs.
Okay.
So here's how it works on Sundays, because I used to do it. You're at home and you're on call, and they call you when someone breaks down, and you get paid quadruple time to show up on a Sunday. Unless, of course... The Warriors game is on, and you don't feel like showing up, so you tell the bonehead at AAA, I don't have an RV jack.
Right.
So I say, I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Let me get them on the line. We'll call you back.
I'm surprised that they put you through to them.
They did not.
Well, it turns out.
They said, we'll call you back.
Okay.
45 minutes later, this same bonehead from AAA calls me back, will not let me speak. He says, I spoke to them again. They said the same thing. We don't have an RV jack. If you'd like to be towed, now I'm furious.
Of course, because again, I know exactly what you need.
I know what I even said to him. I said, look,
you did that to somebody.
I said, if the guy just shows up, I'll do it myself with whatever jack he has. Okay, if he wants to tell you he doesn't have an RV jack, tell him to just bring his jack.
Right.
I'll take care of the problem. Well, sir, we can't do that. They have to do it, and I'm livid right now because I know I'm being lied to.
Yes.
But it's Beardy's account, so I have to do that thing where I suppress my feelings because otherwise I'm about to lose my shit, and Beardy's gonna get his account's gonna be canceled.
I'll be blacklisted.
Yeah, you're barred. Sure.
So I got so far as to well then fuck off and hung up.
Well, at least you hid your feelings.
Yeah.
So I had.
Wait, you said fuck off?
I may or may not have said fuck off.
Don't get into an accident.
Okay. No one's helping me.
Also, Geico.
So I sent Beardy to buy. It's a bottle jack. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a jack. I sent Beardy to buy the jack. It's a $25 problem.
Yeah. I also bought one for myself.
Oh, smart.
Right.
I'm surprised you didn't have two in your RV.
Right.
You.
Well, then I wouldn't. My RV doesn't have a spare, so if a tire blows, I'm just on the side of the road.
Well, see, and I knew Now, I'm not a very prepared person, as you all know. I briefly went through the RV when I acquired it from Jamel, and I noticed there was a spare tire, and I left it at that.
Did you assume there was a jack as well?
Yes.
Just like Warren, if he didn't have a spare tire, he doesn't need a jack.
Right.
If you have a spare tire,
there's got to be.
Jack.
There were various metal objects around the tire. I assumed one of them would lift a vehicle. And by the way, Porno Steve lost his job over the situation.
Really?
Yeah,
all the
because
way?
he had to work that day. Actually, it's still a mystery. So Porno Steve went with us, from the Brew Strong podcast, and we're on. He had to work Sunday night. And I'm like, oh, no problem. We'll be back by 2:00 until this happened. And he called in. He told me the whole time it's going fine. He calls me last week and goes, hey, I got a lot of time on my hands. If you got any extra work at the Brewing Network, and I was like, oh, did you quit? And he said, yeah, there's some things going on. I couldn't deal with it. Well, I come in here today. It turns out it sounds like he got fired. And it sounds like he got fired over that. So now this thing's... By the way, now the flat tire is costing me a lot more money because it's $1,400 in tires. And now I got to find hours for Porno Steve because I got him fired over the... So the tire fiasco...
Yeah.
Which should have been nothing. It should have been...
Right. We were both covered, supposedly, under AAA.
Anyhow, I realized that the tires, while the tread is fine, they're quite old, and the rubber gets dry and they explode. So now I've got to replace. This is another problem with RV. I have to replace. The thing has 8 tires.
Yeah.
Luckily, I only have to replace 6 of them because I did anyway.
A thing.
I'm hoping I've worked out the kinks enough now to get to Portland. I leave Friday.
You realize
we'll find out.
These aren't kinks. This is just ongoing maintenance involved with owning an RV. At one point, it's not going to end.
Nothing else can break.
Right.
Yeah. You see the pattern here. A trip, a breakdown. A trip, a breakdown.
Right.
Okay, fine.
So... I guess the question then, Tasty, is my entire trip considered one trip and I only have to go through one thing? Or is each leg of my trip a trip?
At this point, it dips the roll of the die, dude. Every time you turn it on, it's a new trip. Yeah. Every time you crank it over, new trip.
It will be your coffin.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay with me. That's fine.
It's a roomy coffin.
You got room to take us all down with you.
Yeah. He almost did, remember?
Oh, that's true.
His coffin sleeps 7
permanently.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your microphone, Shimky?
It's on.
Is it?
That was what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
It was,
Stay really close to it, will you? I don't know what's going on over there. So we'll see. I talked to Jamil about the whole situation, and him and I are in agreement.
That you need a jack?
We drive it.
That to be careful?
I just drive it until it deteriorates to the point it cannot be driven. So I will potentially just leave pieces of it along the way. And once... the entire box falls off the drivetrain or whatever happens, I pull the plates, I remove the VIN number, and I leave it right there on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you have a convertible at that point.
Yeah,
so
if the weather's nice, I can at least keep going a little bit.
Right, yeah, just drive the chassis.
Yeah.
Spray free candy on the side and walk away.
I want to circle back to why you only purchased 6 tires.
I already replaced 2.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, I replaced the fronts already.
You should replace the spare also.
No, the spare's in good shape, and it's been inside of a bin, and I've inspected it with my
level of expertise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the spare is fine. It got us home. It's a little low on air.
Still?
Oh my gosh, and that was a thing too, trying to get air for it.
Oh man, I almost had to fight a guy.
Well, you didn't have RV air somewhere?
Well, the way that the valve stems are, you can't really get to them very easily. It's a whole thing.
Sounds like it.
But worse than that, here, a little education for you California drivers.
Okay.
By law, California gas stations must provide you with air and water. But you'll notice that many of them charge you for said services, but they're not really supposed to do that.
Right.
Now, there may or may not be this loophole where you're supposed to buy gas or something from them, but I don't even think that's a thing.
Yeah,
that's what they usually say.
Right.
If you buy gas, it's free. But I don't even think that's a fucking thing. So this has always annoyed me.
Yeah.
Well, it really annoyed Beardy. So we get to the gas station, and I'm like, look, I'm not going to fight with a guy. I got $1, which gives me enough. It gave me 2 pounds of air. So now we got to go in. I'm out of quarters, and I'm not about to give this guy my money. And anyway, the guy won't do it. Beardy had to fight with him. And I think he pulled up the law on his phone, and
he probably had it ready, in a folder in Google Drive, things to argue with other people about, and there's screenshots of everything he can conceive of.
So the guy begrudgingly was like, "I'll give you 1 session."
Oh my god!
So I wanted to light that place on fire too.
Yeah, I was ready to back up and pump 1 cent of gas into my RV. Like, hey, now I need some air. Thanks.
Call cops. I'm sure the cops have nothing better to do. Sir, give the man free air. Jesus.
It's always a fiasco. And anyhow, I don't know. I'm feeling confident. These things are minor, and I think the old girl's going to do all right.
Bev's going?
That was so rude.
The other one.
Oh.
The one that's the size of a house.
Bev's going?
Wow.
The RV is the size. He said it.
Stop
Bevo.
it.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Me?
All of you.
No.
I didn't do anything.
She's a PR person.
I just called you old.
All right, so if all goes well, we'll be seeing you at HomebrewCon. More Beer has brought you this session, and they've teamed up with the great John Palmer to make 27 beer kits based on the recipes found in Brewing Classic Styles, written by Palmer and Jamil. These kits are true to style and are within the BJCP guidelines, enabling them to be easily entered into that upcoming competition. Buy 2 kits and get fast and free shipping from More Beer. Go to morebeer.com and thank them for sponsoring us. On today's program, we've got Lakefront Brewery from Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the show with us. We're going to be talking to Russ and Jim Klisch. They're the founders. Founded in 1987, by the way.
Oh, that's way back. Ooh.
Right. So we're talking to a couple of the pioneers in craft beer here.
That's not even a real year. That never happened.
We're going to talk to their brewer and special projects manager, too. We got Tyler and Derek are also going to be on the show. So we've got a lot to do, and they sent us a bunch of beer. And they even sent beer specifically for the cast of the show. They sent a style for me. They sent a style for JP. They did not send a style for Kim Shimke.
Oh. They sent cheese curds, which apparently didn't arrive.
Yeah, nobody's seen any.
I will make sure that you get them.
But I have in writing. He sent them to me.
Bev pulled a Moscow.
I would never do that.
I don't know.
First of all, you're already making jokes about how fat I am. I mean, I'm not going to eat 37 pounds of cheese curds.
Well, then where did the cheese curds go?
They're still in the mail.
First of all, Warren made a joke. And second of all, why are you being sexist about it? They're in the post.
I literally hate you.
Thank you.
Justin just threw it up there waiting for someone
Shut
to
up,
slam
Warren.
it down.
Yeah. All right. What else do I have to do right now? How about some announcements? Announcements are brought to you today by Drake's Brewing Company. Tasty, you seen their new Flyway Pills on the shelves?
I have seen that.
It's a nice beer.
I tasted it. It's great beer.
Yeah, I've almost always buy Drake still.
It's a good. They know what they're doing.
1500 IPA, and then I saw the Flyway Pills the other day, so I grabbed that. Another good beer from them. So the announcements brought to you by Drake's. You can go to drinkdrakes.com. Our anniversary party, BNA Lucky 13. Tickets are on sale right now. You can go to thebrewingnetwork.com. It's up in Portland, Oregon. It's the closing party to HomebrewCon. It's not at Sassy's.
Okay. Oddly enough.
It doesn't start there.
Yeah, it definitely finishes there. But it is at Base Camp Brewing Company. We're putting on a big street party. We're shutting down the streets, getting a bunch of breweries in there and some music. And also, we got a pretty killer raffle shaping up. The More Beer guys have donated a Brewery automated brewing system, which is an expensive item. Yeah. They've donated a glycol chilling system, which will work with any home fermenter. And they've donated a year's worth of malt.
Wow.
Blickman has donated a conical fermenter, but it's the cornical.
Oh, geez.
It's the one where the corny keg converts into a conical fermenter type of situation.
Yeah.
They're donating that. And I got more donations coming in all the time. And you get raffle tickets just by purchasing a ticket. We're also going to sell additional raffle tickets, but you must be present to win. So you got to buy a ticket to BNA 13. The VIP passes are almost entirely sold out already. So you probably only got another couple of days to do that. So VIP hour, it gets you in an hour early. You get some more private time to hang out with us. You get a meal. And I think we're going to bring in some special beers, too. So get your VIP ticket. And otherwise, just grab a ticket and join us there. All right. You can support us by doing your Amazon shopping. Just click the Amazon button on the homepage. You can do that both for the U.S. and the U.K. Not the Australians. I don't trust them. So I didn't set up Amazon for them. We got a couple of Aussies in the studio with us, so we'll be making fun of them all night. Subscribe and join the BN Army. Just click the donate button on the homepage. It enters you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a chance for $100 to spend at More Beer, and it's a great way to support us and all the content we do. Get all these updates and more and other things on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. You can send your show ideas over there, too. JP and Bevo book our shows. They do a great job of it, so make your case for who you want to hear on the show. Don't just send us every Tom, Dick, and asshole that just opened up or doesn't have any credentials. This is a high-quality show here.
It's true.
You got to have some pedigree to be on the show.
Yeah.
But you can send your ideas over to feedback.
Some dog food.
Yeah. Do we have a Twitter game?
We do.
Great. Twitter game is brought to you today by the Wine and Hop Shop. Go to wineandhop.com. They've been locally owned and operated for over 40 years, and most items ship within 24 hours. BN listeners get $8 flat rate shipping on orders under 25 pounds. Just put BN shipping in the notes field of the shopping cart. Madison, Wisconsin residents, order your homebrew supplies online at wineandhop.com and pick them up at Working Draft Beer Company, located on Wilson Street, right across from Central Park. They'll waive the shipping, and you get half off your first beer. That's kind of cool. You order your homebrew supplies online, pick them up at a brewery.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Check it all out at wineandhop.com. What's our Twitter game?
Well, as you know, the World Cup of Soccer, otherwise known in the rest of the free world as football.
Football. Or footy.
Footy. You can do footy. You can do football. But you can't do soccer in the rest of the world because then everyone's going to know you're American. Because for some reason, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was just wondering, generally, most people in America don't tend to really care about soccer. So what do we care about less than soccer?
The Brewing Network.
The Brewing, right. I will say this has already pissed off. I've already gotten a couple of people going, it's 2018, we're still tweeting bullshit like this. It's a fucking game. It's a joke.
Okay.
Relax. I've been watching World Cup every fucking match, so it's fine. I said most people, well, Americans have purchased more tickets than any country, so I guess it appears that we like it a great deal.
Oh, dear. Okay.
That's not how you win a Twitter game.
Right. Yeah, you want a T-shirt you never get? Well, guess what?
That's how you get sent a middle finger.
Right. Just relax, everybody. Calm down.
Okay. So what was the game again?
I don't remember, actually.
Oh.
No, the World Cup is upon us. Name one thing Americans in general care about less than soccer.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's do some feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. They protect my trademark. They can do the same for you or help you with your brewery filings. They can do it all over at beerlawcenter.com. Dave writes in... he says, FYI, the session has not been updating on both Stitcher and Google Play. Most recent show was the Flat Tail show. But I have been able to download the past two shows through the website. So, Dave, I looked into this for you today, and I'm showing all of our episodes on both Google Play and Stitcher. So this was a problem about a month ago when we did some changes to our website, but we got that fixed, and I'm still seeing everything. So if any other listeners are experiencing this problem, feel free to send that into feedback. I'm happy to look further into it, but when I looked at both sites, I'm seeing the most recent shows. Okay. And then J.P. Dickman writes in.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Name's taken, isn't it?
Yeah. You would think. I'm cursed myself.
He says, well done, folks. Lately, the BN has been on a somewhat negative tone regarding the state of craft beer.
Bullshit.
And this show totally broke the streak. What show is he talking about by this show, do you think?
Tales?
I believe I believe it was the New Realm show with Mitchell Steele, if I can call him that.
Okay.
It was a great show. Our last show we just had.
Got it. All right. He says, this broke that streak. Don't misunderstand. I don't think the tone of late is inappropriate, as it echoes things I've been noticing as well. I'm simply glad to hear an episode that helps temper the sometimes cloudy outlook on craft beer with some good old-fashioned beer talk. Secondly, please give Doc his own show. I want so badly to listen to that nonsense. It could possibly make less sense than lunch meat. Doc, of course, still on a Brewing Network hiatus until someone figures out how to translate him.
Still trying to figure out how to get to hiatus, because we don't really know.
Yeah. And then lastly, a question for the Jippers.
Yes.
You said in an earlier episode on May 25th of 2016, about 20 minutes in.
About.
That have you been complaining about hazy IPAs since 2016? He says that you would be more okay with hazy IPAs if they had a style where they could exist without creeping on some other style's groove. Albeit you said, don't call them IPAs.
Okay.
And don't call them juicy, that's stupid.
Okay.
These were, he has quotation marks.
Right.
But both of which the style guide did. They called it both those things. Okay. So now that there's a style guide for them, what do you think? I understand your taste buds and sensibilities won't change. I simply wonder if your life has gotten easier or harder or remained the same since the BJCP inducted the style.
No. Considering that the two things that I thought were stupid are still stupid and still exist, I think it's a stupid style.
Okay.
I think if you call it an IPA, and actually we talked about this on the New Realm show, Mitch is in full agreement with me.
Okay.
That it should not be called IPA because guess what? It's not an IPA. And it does damage to IPA and does a disservice to, I think, craft in whole, because people who are coming into craft beer and look at the hazy piece of trash as an IPA and then they look a clear piece of trash as an IPA because they're both trash. They're not going to know the difference. Yeah, they're going to think that it doesn't matter if one's clear and one's not, and I think that's bad.
So, based on that, would you say your life has gotten easier, harder, or remained the same?
I think it's gotten harder because it hurts
even more legitimate.
Yeah, because it legitimizes a terrible thing that we're doing to each other. Yeah, quite frankly, and to ourselves mentally and physically.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Okay. All right. Thank you to J.P. Dickman. He says, keep up the half-hearted work.
We might give it a shot.
Then there's one about an episode of Dr. Homebrew missing. I'll go fix that. I saw the problem you noted. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll get that going for you. And finally, this was an interesting one I got. It was very short, slightly aggressive, and I felt out of place. But Kenneth wrote in. Really, you guys have way too many ads as it is, but please cut the porn ad out. Insert yet another beer ad if you must. Not all of your listeners are adolescent adults, and some have kids in the car. From Kenneth.
Well, first of all,
Kenneth.
First mistake.
Yeah,
if that's your real name.
We've already said the F word, and we talk about a lot of stuff on this show. So if you don't already know that,
right?
We're going to go there. Second of all, we're not saying graphically what you should do with Climax gel. So if you can't talk to your kids about what a Climax is, then you're a terrible father.
And you can't find the volume on your radio.
Well, now these are my sentiments. I would like to say first that we don't advertise porn on our website.
Right. Free DVDs.
You do get free adult DVDs, but we're advertising a service.
Correct.
So that you don't have to go be the creep at the corner store. By the way, it's Adam and Eve, and you go to adamandeve.com right now.
Yes.
You use coupon code BNARMY, and you get the DVDs, and you get the Climax gel, and you get the free shipping, and you get the 50% off any one item.
Speaking about
it's really a great service.
It is a great service. A lot of our listeners love it. That's why they still advertise.
Speaking about that code, I think it's a dirty code because it says "be in." I want to be in. It's insinuating that you want to be in the other person, and so it's. I don't like it.
No, not just the person, the whole army.
So it's BN.
I want to be in the whole army.
Yeah, you do. I think that you can get that video at half off.
Oh, that's one of the DVDs.
Cover your kids' ears.
But second of all, it says right on iTunes when you download the show, explicit. And so, while I have sympathy that you're right, not all of our listeners are adolescent adults like we are. I'll happily own that. In fact, the day I grow up entirely is probably about 24 hours before you find me hanging in my garage. I get that, but you should know better than to listen to the show with the kids in the car.
Yeah.
That's not on me.
Right.
That's on you. I mean, that's like, do you also put on all the R-rated shit you watch on TV on the television when the kids are running around? That's
Ice
not my
Cube,
fault.
Natural Born Killer on repeat, long drives to Disneyland. Let's go.
I have done my best to let you know who we are. And I've been letting you know that for 13 years.
Right.
So that whole argument just doesn't work with me. My suggestion, rather than me removing the quote-unquote porn ad, would be to not listen to my show around children. Also, I have to note, especially since you point out that we already have too many ads, and then there's the porn ad, the only reason that we exist today to give you information is because of the ads. It's just the nature of the beast. It's kind of like watching TV, right? Like, you got to sit through the ads, and I don't really like it either. If y'all paid me more through the donate button, I would happily remove the ads. But I'm not asking you to do that. I'm giving you free programming. Those of you who donate are wonderful human beings who I think are smart and handsome and intelligent and are
pretty and beautiful,
and
probably.
are doing good things for the world. And the rest of you, listen to the ads and shut the fuck up. That's basically what I think about that. So, Kenneth,
thanks for listening.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Good luck out there in podcast land.
Yeah. Actually, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do my Adam and Eve live read during content of the show.
Yeah, that you are waiting to hear.
Let me go check that off my ad list.
Yeah.
Thank you, porn ad.
I mean, if you get a thing for free and then you can't, I feel like you have no right to complain about ads. Like, I feel that way with you when you download an app. And you get a little pop-up or whatever at the bottom. I can't complain about this. I got it for free, and it's providing me a service of knowledge. So what am I going to do? Cry about it?
I will say, like, I do wish we could have less ads. Honestly, I don't like listening to a ton of ads.
Sure.
But all of the ads are relevant. Even the porn ad. I mean, let's be honest. It's pretty relevant to our audience. But they're all relevant to brewing, number one. But unfortunately, the industry just isn't ready to pay larger amounts for less ads. In other words, if I could charge quadruple what I charge for a single ad, I could have less ads. But we have found over the years that it's hard enough to get smaller amounts of cash from advertisers. So we do a lot. And I hope you don't mind listening to it. And we do try to tailor it to stuff you're interested in. I mean, I'd recommend listening to some of the ads. Like the Poncho's keg cooler we got going on right now. That's a pretty sweet ad. I mean, because like
how does that go again?
Well, jockey boxes can be frustrated.
Tell me about it.
But luckily, there's a solution, and that's Poncho's keg cooler.
Wait, what?
Well, it's an elegant option for serving cold beer at social gatherings.
Go continue.
Imagine a water cooler tall enough and with enough room inside to fit a 5-gallon corny keg, including a 2.5-pound CO2 tank and a regulator.
Well, you got my meat on swole already, bro. Keep going.
Add a beer faucet to that, and you've got a kegerator on the move. You've got Poncho's Keg Cooler.
Damn.
Now available at ponchosbrewinglab.com. Get $20 off your Poncho's Keg Cooler purchase by using the code BNET, B-N-E-T. For additional information or answers to frequently asked questions, like how awesome is this fucking thing, go to ponchosbrewinglab.com.
How much Climax gel comes with
was
it?
Was that an ad?
Well, that was a suggestion for a cool piece of equipment that a homebrewer might be interested in.
Actually, I wasn't really listening. Can you repeat it? I need to know.
Now, Tasty, in the early years, when you were in your 70s.
Yeah, many years ago. Yeah,
and I used to go to homebrew events with you. You always do the orange cooler thing.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
But it was a pain in the ass because, like, you know, the keg stuck out and the regulator was separate.
Kept the bottom half cold, but not the top.
This takes that all of that technology and puts it in one container.
No, I'm going to look at it. I thought about, some time ago, I thought about forming a company where I would buy sixtels from breweries and do like a service for homes, right?
Yeah.
But I provide the cooler. This sounds perfect. It's the same, almost the same diameter as the keg itself. It's just made for a corny keg. Whereas most kegerators are big boxes. Where do you put it?
Yeah.
I'm interested in this device.
Poncho figured it out. Go to ponchosbrewinglab.com. All right.
What do you think about if someone goes, you know what, like Kenneth, I think his name was, or whatever.
Yeah.
Uncle Steve, let's call him.
Sure.
I don't like the Adam and Eve live read. How much is it? I'm going to pay you that much money to never read it again.
Okay.
What do you think? Would you do that?
Yes.
Okay. And then we don't mention him because we don't give him a shout out or whatever, because then that would just be buying another ad for homie and his kid or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's an option, I guess. If you don't like something, we're always for sale. And if you don't like content, I guess you can buy it off the air. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Like, I'll swap out, I'd rather add to it,
Right.
But yeah, exactly. Now, here I'm being serious. In principle, you're asking me to give money back. You're asking me to not accept money for the service that we provide by telling me that you don't appreciate this sponsor because your kids are in the car. And if you really, and I mean this, if you look at that intellectually, it's an unfair request. It's just not right. You can't tell somebody who does this for a living to not take money so that you can have a more comfortable ride with your children.
Right. Essentially, JP can't have money for his kids because your kids are sensitive about the word climax.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now, that being said, we do curate the ads. I don't go out to State Farm Insurance, and if you think about it, there could be tons of ads that would maybe not be offensive, but completely irrelevant to your life and your lifestyle and the reason that you listen to this program. So we at least curate what you hear, but that's about as far as I can go, to be honest. I mean, there's very little I'm going to say no to.
Yeah.
I hear State Farm pays pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't.
This segment brought to you by Burt's Beeswax.
Yeah. I don't know. And again, I don't really feel like the Adam and Eve ad is all that outside of our ding-dang,
Because it number one, it has been in the past because we've gone off because it's fun and we're sophomore.
Yeah.
But it could also be a lot more intense, shall we say?
Right.
But it's generalized talk. It's fine. Your kids are fine.
It's
You're
fun,
fine
too, by the way.
You're all right.
Like, you ever hear some of the one-offs that Tasty throws out during that commercial? Lighten up and listen, and you might get a chuckle out of it.
Yeah. Right. You appreciate the humor.
All right. Anyway, Kenneth, sorry I can't help you more than that. Thanks for writing in, but there you go. That's
you're
life.
welcome.
We know where you're coming from.
All right. Hey, you heard of Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company?
No.
Never. I heard they sent beer, though.
Actually, I can probably move this around because I just knocked out a couple, didn't I?
Yeah.
What did I knock out? Oh, I did...
what do they make there at Neshaminy Creek?
Punch. Okay, I'll move Neshaminy.
Well, they make... never mind.
We'll get that covered a little later in the program. All right, we're going to take ourselves a break.
Do it.
Yeah, but when we come back, wait right there. Put the headphones on your children. We've got Lakefront Brewery from Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the program. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, Santa Clean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
You're tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks a lot for sticking with us. This segment right now is brought to you by craftbeer.com, celebrating the vast and varied landscape of American craft beer. Visit craftbeer.com's beer travel section to find your next beercation destination. Yeah. All right. As promised, we've got Lakefront Brewery on the program with us, and we should have Russ and Jim Klisch. They're the founders and troublemakers at the brewery, probably. You guys there?
We're here.
Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, guys.
So, look, I got to jump right in. 1987. You guys, you were thinking about craft beer before most people were thinking about craft beer.
Well, I always like to say we're on the back end of the first wave of craft beer. There were some that were out there, but we were certainly one of the first in the region here.
What got you into it? Were you guys homebrewers?
Yeah, we were homebrewers. I moved in. My brother's birthday was coming up, so I bought him a book on how to make beer, and he went and made some beer, which I thought looked like hell. But
how did it taste?
It didn't taste too bad, so I figured if he did that good, I could do better, and I made some. And we both started entering local contests and local awards, and friends started telling us, you guys should open up a brewery.
Yeah, it's the old homebrewer's dream, you know.
Right. What was your career path before dropping everything to open a brewery?
Well, I was a cop.
Okay. Nice. All right.
And I worked as a engineer for a battery company, John's Controls, an automotive battery.
Yeah, Russ was an engineer, so he knew how to put a system together. And
excellent.
I knew how to do other things.
You guys remember any of your homebrew recipes?
Well, basically, you know, we try to emulate beer that was out there. You know, there weren't that many craft beers. A lot of them were imports. I had a liking for Anchor Steam.
Okay.
You know, obviously a craft beer. You know, a storied, very storied beer in the craft beer history. And I always tried to replicate or become as close as I could to the Anchor Steam Amber. And so that's what I would always model my homebrew after. You know, basically, I tried to make it as a straight lager, but you know, not a hybrid beer like theirs, but try to get the ABVs and you know, the color and the hopping similar and the malt bill.
But you were making it a true lager using lager yeast.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you had back then temperature-controlled fermentation. I mean, you had a full setup then.
Well, basically, in the early days of the brewery, back, you know, home brewing, it was not quite that explicit. We were, you know, basically doing with whatever we could. You know, the equipment isn't anything like you've been discussing today.
Okay.
I remember we were fermenting. We basically had a 55-gallon drum at start and another tank, and we would take city water and have it as a jacket on the outside, so it'd be like a tank inside of a tank.
Got it.
We would just regulate the flow of the water to make sure the temperature was right.
And this was for the home brewery, sorry, you're saying?
No, that was when I first started. The home brewery, we just put it on the basement floor. It's cold enough in Milwaukee.
That's a good point, yeah. Okay. So your friends tell you, hey, you guys should open a brewery, but I'm imagining that there wasn't a lot of examples around, and maybe banks weren't really lending for that sort of thing. Like, what was your plan, and how did you get started?
I remember writing about half a page or page business plan, asking for like $250,000. I thought banks might give it to me. I didn't understand back then that you had to have money to borrow money.
Right.
All turned us down. So we decided to do, instead of try to build a big brewery, build a brewery as small as possible to lose the least amount of money.
Okay.
We found an old bakery building down the street, and that's when we started cobbling together our what we called our Frankenstein operation, because every piece of equipment lived and died a previous life.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And how well received was that initial brewery and the beers you guys were putting out?
Initially, we were really well. We were like in a bohemian type of neighborhood, and people really embraced us right off the bat. It was a neighborhood that had a lot of corner bars. Old ethnic neighborhood in Milwaukee, so it was a source of pride for the region, and we were, for the first couple of years, selling everything we could make.
And how many barrel system did you have then?
When we first started out, we basically had a barrel and a half, but then we graduated to a 7-barrel system about a year later.
Okay. Were you able to purchase a 7-barrel system, or did you have to cobble that together too?
Oh, I remember buying a tank that had a jacket on, or a burner on the bottom of it, and that ended up being a 7-barrel tank. So we just had a natural gas burner on the bottom of this tank. I got a stainless welder in there, and they brought put some fittings on what we needed, and started going from there. Then found our old mixer, and we welded a blade to it to spin it around, and it was everything was built by hand back then. There was no equipment dealer to work with.
Yeah, right. First 15 years, everything came from the junkyard.
Wow.
Or dairy farms or scrap equipment.
Yeah, you were making stuff that didn't even exist probably at the time. I mean,
Yeah. Certainly on a budget.
So you visited like other breweries to find out what equipment you were trying to make, basically? I mean, there wasn't a lot of literature.
When I was working for John's Controls, I was a traveling engineer. I had to go around and install equipment. So I always went and looked at some other old breweries and see how they did. I remember the Ryan Hexka down in Plano, Texas, and went down there and saw how he cobbled together and basically built this whole brewery by hand.
Wow. It showed you it could be done.
Yeah, and so you come back, you get ideas. That was the big thing about traveling back then. It wasn't just to try to taste the beer and see what they did. It was how they build their equipment.
No, you don't go to Pro Brewer for something.
Yeah.
There was no such thing.
Did you sell, pretty much all the beer just right over the counter there, or did you start distribution pretty early?
Oh, we were all distribution.
Okay.
We didn't have a tasting room until far later.
Okay. Yeah, is the concept... Is the concept of a tasting room, I don't want to say relatively new, but it seems to me whenever I would visit breweries when I was first starting in craft beer, even in the late 90s, there weren't really too many tasting rooms.
Right.
But now it's you have to have it in your business plan. But when you guys were starting, when you went to other breweries, was there even a place to go and sample the beer? Or it was just production just to get it out and you go down the street, do it, and buy some beer?
Well, we basically had was the tour. And so we bring people on in and give them a tour of our place and charge them some money, send them home with a pint glass. And we made some money off of that on Saturday afternoons. But we really didn't have the staff or the people to be open all 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Early days we weren't even bottling. It was all draft.
Okay.
You guys are known for your tours, though.
We have a very good staff here for tours. So if you're ever in the area, please check us out. We give tours every day, and we have food every day.
What's special what's unique about the tours that makes you known for them?
Well, I think no one has a script. So every person who's a tour guide just sort of develops their own line. There's some guidelines that they follow, but it definitely isn't corporate. There's nothing scripted about it. We have creative, young, very hip tour guides that kind of push the envelope a little bit with the bantering that they do, on the tour, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very convivial atmosphere once you walk in. If you visit the place, it's like a beer hall. So, it's the whole experience. You see people coming in as strangers, and then when they're leaving, they're exchanging email addresses and discussing what bar they're going to go together. So
nice.
So they really embrace the full beer hall thing, where they even play polka.
We do? Yes. Friday nights we have a polka band.
So I was there just last August of last year, and you guys were so much fun. And I think the cool thing about your tours is, like, they're super interactive. They're very high energy. You can clearly tell that the people like what they do. And I've been to some breweries that are, like, known for their personality, one particularly in Delaware. And I was very disappointed in the tour.
Oh.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, oh, clearly this is going to be, like, super fun, high energy. I was sorely disappointed. And then you go to a place like Lakefront, and, you know, I mean, in the Midwest, I think Lakefront is a bigger name than they are here out here on the West Coast. And yeah, people are, like, there's waits, like, really long waits to be there.
You have to lift weights?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to bench press at least 100.
That sucks. I can never make it. Yeah. I'll be changing a tire in the parking lot.
So it's a bunch of bros on this tour.
But it's just a really
I got
fun
an RV jack for you there.
You know what? I'll be stopping by there. Might be new problems by the time I get there. Let me now talk to me about the brewery now, right? Because you're telling us about this, you know, the Frankenstein start, and now it must be very different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, about a third of our equipment is still used. We still have a what I call a mud of a brew house, where we have 5 different pieces of equipment, all made by a different manufacturer. But they are some nice pieces still. And we're in half our cellar is some used equipment, other ones are brand new, but we do have a brand new KHS filler, which is very nice, and KHS keg filler. So we are upgrading as we go along, and every piece of equipment we have now was built for the brewing industry, as compared to at one time a lot of it was built for the dairy industry.
Got it. Now let me ask you this. You know, as an entrepreneur, I read a lot of articles about other entrepreneurs, and I think about it sometimes having, you know, we started this thing in my garage, and now we have this fancy studio that's in a bar. But do you think back, though, at those times where you're struggling and piecing it together, and maybe in the moment it was a pain in the ass because you're just trying to move forward and grow? But do you think back and go like, but man, those were the good, like that's when it was the most fun?
In a way, you're right. Back in the early days, we were like missionaries of beer.
Right.
You know, we're kind of out there trying to tell people what craft beer was and exposing them to it. You know, now it's just become so much of a business.
Right.
You know, everything is numbers and promotions and you know, image, and you know, you can just do the whole litany of things.
Sure.
So, you know, back then we were innovative and we were cutting edge, and now we're trying to keep up.
Right. Well, and I'm not even saying that you would like want to go back to it. That's not what I mean. But it's almost like the struggle was
part of the fun.
Yeah. You know, it was more exciting or something.
It's almost like you were telling people about beer, and now your customers are trying to tell you about beer. They're trying to educate you about craft beer as if you don't already know.
Right.
Which, you know, I don't know. That's what I see, at least anyway. And now suddenly the consumer is overconfident in their knowledge. They're trying to tell you how to make your beers better.
Yeah, like you have consumers refuting styles that are established by trade organizations.
Well,
you have a big homebrew contingent in your listening audience, and I am really respectful of what the homebrewing community has become right now. I mean, there are very well-educated people, and I just love listening to them. You know, I learn when I talk to homebrewers at festivals.
You see that, JP? There's another perspective there. He learns.
He learned. Well, you know, apparently I learned more than he did, I guess. I don't know. I'm kidding. But he cares more than I do.
Right.
It's pretty. That's what's clear.
Yeah.
You guys care more about making beer
Everything.
than I do. Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we do have a couple of your beers in front of us. Thank you for sending these. It looks like you guys sent one specifically for me, your German-style Pilsner, which I'm about to taste for the first time. Can you tell us a little about this beer?
Yeah, the beer is made with Pilsner malt from Best. It's an acidulated malt. Pearl and Spalt are the hops that go in there. And so it's a true German-style Pilsner. I don't feel it's overly hopped, a nice little bite to it. Germans like things in balance, and I always think that if you can drink two and you want a third, it's a great beer. And when I drink this one, that's what I think.
I agree with you. I also feel like, you mentioned it's not too overly hopped. It almost falls in between like a Helles and a Pilsner. It's got a great noble hop character, as it should, but I don't know, the backbone is a little, which is a good thing, a little bit Helles-like to me, too. It's a great style you guys brewed.
A little malty?
Yeah, a little bit. A little sweet malt character, as it should have. And then, as you say, balanced with those noble hops. What do you think, Tasty?
I think it's got a really unique Pilsner character. Best malts, I'm not familiar with that. Is that a U.S. grown and kilned?
No, I believe it's from Belgium.
Belgium. It's a Belgian best. Wow.
Okay.
It's definitely European.
Yeah, so European style. So it's a lighter style.
Yeah.
It's a nice flavor. We think that's the best tasting Pilsner malt out there.
It's not all cloudy. Is your unfilter machine broken, or I don't know.
No, our centrifuge spins very well.
It does. Yeah,
and clarifies it.
What was that in its previous life?
It was just sitting in the tank when we used to buy bulk dairy tanks. We could buy them for $1 a gallon way back then, so you could let a beer sit in there for 4 to 6 weeks, and then clarify. And that's how we used to do it.
In the good old days too. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, I would love to have seen them Frankenstein together at centrifuge.
Right.
It's literally a bomb.
They got a bunch of bicycles hooked up to a bucket.
Check it out. We got an old tilt-a-whirl.
Russ, keep riding, man. It's not clear yet.
Don't stop.
Keep pedaling. This is a nice beer. And then you sent River West Stein beer for JP here. What is this beer?
Well, that's an amber lager. And so I like to say it's a little balanced with the malt and the hop. It comes in at 5.6% ABV. It has a couple of caramel malts in there, also a little roasted barley. We bitter it with Zeus, and then we also have Willamette and Cascade for the finishing hops, flavoring and finishing hops in there. So it kind of pours a copper color, and it finishes with that caramel malt flavor.
Yeah, the aroma's great.
Yeah,
the caramel malt nose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, picked it up right away. That little chocolate, you can smell it.
The color's beautiful.
Yeah,
I really like
great.
that. Is Stein the style? Am I just not familiar? I've heard of.
No,
it's not. Why? Okay.
A little bit of a story behind it, but we just called it Stein beer because you drink it from Stein, and that was before we realized that a beer made with stones were called Stein beer. So
got it. Yeah.
No relationship to Hot Rocks.
Okay, and that's why I asked too, because right when I saw Stein, I was like, wow, they're doing a hot rock beer.
Right? How are you going to do that on a barrel or more? I mean, come on.
They do weird stuff in Wisconsin. Yeah, this is another really nice beer.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. Thank you for sending it.
They're both really clean, fermented well, so you guys have that dialed in. I know we're going to talk to your brewers here in our next segment, too, so we'll dive into some of the yeast and all that.
Those are our legacy beers. Those essentially the first two beers we started out with at the brewery.
Really?
So from day one, it was those that you're tasting now.
And how
Nice,
are
smooth, man.
how do the sales of these beers rank in your portfolio now, all these years later?
The River West is our number one selling beer.
Wow.
That we have out there. It's about 30% of our production. The Pilsner is always very steady, about 5%, 10% of our portfolio.
That surprises me.
That's one thing I love about the Midwest is their love of amber lagers.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few breweries like this that do it really well also.
Yeah.
Because it's smooth, man. All those malts come together. You still get a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
But it just coasts right on, man. It's easy drinking.
Yeah. It's
I
not
really
cloying,
enjoy it.
But you get the caramel flavors. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I think that's something to be proud of too. If you opened this with this beer back in the late '80s, and today it's still your best seller, I think that's a testament to a great beer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of those, right? You have your Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, right? That has lasted since the beginning. Your Anchor, as they mentioned.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a whole bunch of breweries that have their 1987 beer lasting as their number one.
Yeah. It's either a great beer or you have extraordinarily old customers right now. They're like 85 going, I love it! It's amazing.
Owners.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not, I mean, because we talk to brewers all the time that, well, even the current craft climate, you have to change it up.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes some breweries can lock in with a couple hits and they just ride them out, and this is definitely one of those. And I could see why. Drinking it, you can easily tell.
I would love that, because then I could just go home.
Well, we go all the way from flagship beers, to one and done. So we have that whole portfolio out there.
You have to. Yeah, for sure.
Now, I have in my notes some interesting things, not only about your company, but even just about the building that you're in now. You guys are in an old
ghosts
coal-fired electric plant.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that right?
Huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is it clean coal or?
Yeah.
Not back then. No.
Right. Tell me about this building and how you chose it and how you got that cleaned up. Sounds interesting.
Kind of like our equipment, we got it real cheap.
Okay. Right.
But they were going to tear it down, and the city didn't want to tear it down. They wanted to find somebody to go into it, and they basically almost gave it to us. It was right on the banks of the Milwaukee River. Back then, it was not a positive thing to be on the river.
Oh.
It looked at it more of a detriment, and today it's completely opposite. So we were able to get the building, and it has a lot of great old character in it, and 40-foot ceilings. In one half of it, so it was great for brewing. Stand up huge tanks.
Oh yeah,
right in there, and it just fits the image of the city perfectly. Big old industrial town, cream city brick, and we were lucky to get it, and it served us very well.
The brewery is located real close to where the old Schlitz Brewery used to be. And for a short period of time, the Schlitz Brewery did own this. It helped power some of their concerns. And they actually had a tavern out in front, a Tide House, so that would sell Schlitz beer.
Nice. So that's some good history
that's
right
pretty
there.
Cool, yeah.
It's been around the brew world, this little building.
Yeah, so...
I like it. And you guys are very into being local, and it sounds like you had been early on. And I don't just mean being the local brewery, but you guys have a line of beers that you produce that are hyper-local in terms of ingredients, too, right?
Yeah, we had the Wisconsinite. It was the first all-indigenous beer, including the yeast. But the hops are grown here, the malt was grown here, of course, the water. And I had a microbiologist who took some of our locally grown barley and just crushed it up, put it in a test tube, and it started to grow, and we were able to single cell some of the local yeast off it, which we made a batch of beer from.
Wow. Would you describe it as a clean yeast or more of like a farmhouse yeast that you got out of that?
It had a phenolic flavor to it, or more of a Belgian style.
Okay, yeah.
That you had, but it was very interesting. We sold a lot of that beer. It was several years ago we made it, but everybody loved it. People are still asking, and we're going to probably bring it back sometime this year as a little test batch or a little 15, 20 barrel batch.
Okay.
That's cool.
I think it's cool, but it also sounds difficult. I mean, unless I don't know your region very well, which is very possible.
Like a difficult sell?
No, to get enough ingredients all made in your state.
We have to dig through the permafrost.
I would say
is what happens.
Yeah, I would say that for almost any state, but also Wisconsin. So, is growing barley and hops a popular thing there? Did you really have to dig for this?
We found farmers that were able to do it. That's one of the reasons Milwaukee was such a great brewing heritage town.
Right. Okay.
Had all the hops and barley, but can be grown here.
Got it. That makes sense.
State so.
And you must have great water too. If with all of those beer companies of yore being from Milwaukee, you must have awesome brewing water.
Yeah, we do. I mean, the mineral content is just right. From Lake Michigan water is almost perfect to make a Pilsner.
Okay, excellent. Well, all these beers taste fantastic.
Yeah.
And you guys, I was reading this. This one surprised me too. You guys were one of the first, if not the first, to do a gluten-free beer?
Yes.
When did you do that? I'm curious because this whole gluten bullshit thing seems to be so recent to me.
Dietary concern,
health condition.
I'm curious when you did this.
Yeah, well, back in 2005, the people had the celiac condition, really had, celiac, and my brewmaster's father was a celiac. And I had this one doctor try telling me I should make this beer without barley and malt, and I'm thinking, how in the world can you do this? And I asked my head brewer about it, and he started telling me about the condition his dad had. He never really drank a beer with him, and said, gosh, this would be great to make a beer for my dad. So we started researching everything, and I found out that the government didn't have a policy for this style of beer because you can't call something beer without made with 25% malted barley. So back in 2005, I went to the Craft Brewers Conference in Philadelphia, found the ATF booth there, talked to the head guys, and they said, write me a statement of process, and we'll see what we can do. And that's what I did. And 60 days later, it came back approved. And we figured we had to brew the beer then. Yeah. We found some sorghum syrup, and made the beer with that. And that's how we made the first gluten-free beer in the United States.
Wow.
And so now is that allowed under a brewing license nationwide? And you guys were just the first?
Yeah, you can. Right now, it's what they call FDA. It's under an FDA blanket right now. Some of the lower wines, ciders, anything that you see out there that has to have a nutritional label on it is all from there. So that's where they put this. So we were one of the first people to work with them on this, and so it's not a ATTB brew.
Got it.
Huh. Interesting.
At one point, this beer of theirs, this gluten-free beer, was the number one selling beer in all of British Columbia. Do I have that right, guys?
Yeah, it was. It was number one for SKU.
This blows my mind. And I'm going to be honest with you. So I believe we were sent this beer that we were going to try later on in the program.
Okay.
But, guys, I'm only going to try it if you'll allow me to give my honest opinion about it. And I'm not trying to be a dick here. You guys know what I mean. This is difficult to make a yummy beer that's gluten-free. But
first of all, yummy.
To be the number one beer in British Columbia,
that seems crazy.
There's something to this beer.
I think they're cooking the books. Really? They're cooking the books.
Of all lying Canadians.
Yeah. Well, it was number one, I think, American imported beer.
Number one American import. Still.
That's even better, I think.
Still impressive.
Yeah.
What do you think about this beer? And by that I mean,
do you reach for it?
That's what I mean. Okay. You got a couple beers on the shelf there, guys. Do you ever grab your gluten-free one?
Oh yeah, I drink it.
You do?
Oh sure. It is. It has a. It doesn't taste exactly like beer, but the flavor it has is very good.
Okay.
It's a very refreshing beer. We'll serve it at beer festivals, and we don't tell people it's gluten-free, and they'll come back and ask for it.
Oh, nice.
And a couple times you tell them, well, it's gluten-free, and all of a sudden they look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
That's good. You should do
way to do it.
You should do the opposite also. Not tell people it has gluten in it.
Right.
On the other hand, I prefer German lagers, so I go more for the Dunkels and the Ambers.
Okay, I got you.
A lot of gluten.
Well, I
like gluten.
Could I have extra gluten, please?
Yeah.
Maybe a side of it. Now, I've had maybe 2 tasty gluten-free beers in my tenure.
That you've thought tasted like beer, or just that you enjoyed?
Both. Yes, to both. Okay. I felt that it tasted enough like beer and was enjoyable to drink.
Okay. That was always the problem when Plissé and I were trying to do gluten-free beers at More Beer years ago. They didn't taste like beers. They were a different animal entirely.
What would you just and Russ and Jim, you guys too? If it doesn't taste like beer, what does it taste like? Could you put your finger on what the flavor is?
The stuff we were making, it was just water, like grain water.
I see.
It was like like when you're tasting the runoff, maybe to see when you should stop sparging. I never did it, but people do it. That's what it kind of tasted like to me. We're just kind of low flavor because you can't really have a whole lot of like crystal malts and stuff, and at least that's what I thought at the time. Maybe you can now because everything's kilned and it kills the enzyme or whatever. I don't know. too dumb to figure it out.
Sounds like
But
they're saying they're wordy. They're not
wordy. No, not even that. They're just thin. Thin with not a whole lot of flavor.
You couldn't get body into them. There was
the hard part for us where I left it was that you can't get any body.
You
in
could
it.
need long chains in there that would give any
What do you guys think, Russ and Jim?
Well, I taste a little green apple. I think it's a tad cidery. You might get, it's definitely an effervescent beer. It's fairly light, and I'm a little surprised the ABV on that's 5%. So, it does have a bit of alcohol for as light of a beer as it is.
Okay. I've sent Bevo to go get it. Do you mind if we taste it with you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, we had it in the cold box. I figure we're talking about it. I want to taste this.
I think gluten-free beers are interesting. I'm interested to see where everything goes because we have enzymes out now that do the brute beers and all these kind of different technologies, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, the White
to
Labs
progress stuff.
The White Labs Clarity Firm.
Yeah.
Now they can't claim that it makes it 100% gluten-free.
No.
But they can claim, I believe, I'm not speaking for them, by the way, this is what I remember, that it reduces it to an untraceable amount.
Right. So to be gluten-free in America, federally, I think is what it is, it's under 20 ppm, I believe, of gluten, and then that's gluten-free.
Well, and that's from the ingredients also. And so that's where the problem with the Clarity Firm comes in, is because even if the Clarity Firm reduces it below the threshold, the fact that the gluten was there at a higher than acceptable limit, they can't claim gluten-free.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the peanuts. They have to claim that if you have a nut allergy, a factory has to put on its label that like nuts were in the building.
Yes, right.
Okay, I see.
So I wonder where it will go. But I agree with you. There have been some beers that I've tasted that are gluten-free that they don't taste like beer.
Yeah.
But I think if you have the carbonation dialed in, I think that helps kind of a great deal.
Right.
So now I'm all excited to try this.
Yeah.
Well, we got it in our glass now, guys. I'm sure they're not as excited as we are because now they're like, Jesus.
They're like, how do we get out of this phone call?
Just hang up, baby.
Yeah, what are these morons going to say now?
Let's send it to a break.
Okay, we're tasting.
All right. Well, anyway, we are certified gluten-free. We are not gluten removed, so we're not making this out of barley. And
you don't have gluten ever.
Yeah, so it is out of rice and sorghum is what you're tasting here. So
I see.
anybody that does have the condition, can feel very confident in drinking this beer.
It tastes like. Would you mind if I
go ahead? I don't. They might mind.
Well, that's too bad. It tastes like a sweeter American light lager, like the way I would taste. What's the not Pabst, but oddly enough, Schlitz.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, because it's that sweeter corn kind of thing for me, and I don't know if there's any corn or not, but and then at the end there's that little bit of that cidery thing,
right?
But there is body. It's not a thin, watery thing at all, but along the lines of a light American lager with a little more oomph to it.
I'm glad you said that, JP.
Thanks, Justin.
And here's why. No, well, I picked up on the cidery comment. I don't know if it was Russ or Jim that said it.
That's totally strong. I'm getting that.
And so that was the first thing that I noticed. But as soon as you said American light lager, I think you're absolutely right. That's where the beery side comes in. It just has that crisp, light, thin, but not overly thin flavor of an American light lager.
Yeah.
And then, the cidery, It's more in the finish once I've noticed the American.
Like an ester, really.
Yeah. This is a good beer, guys. You did it.
Someone in the chat wants to know if it's yummy or not.
It's yummy.
Okay.
I would call it yummy.
In your tummy?
No. Just that's held off for a very special place.
Wow.
Yummy in my tummy.
Dunkaroos.
It's just yummy. I can see. I'm still shocked that in the entirety of British Columbia, this is the #1 import. But it's a great beer.
You know what this is? That's a boat beer.
Oh.
It's a good boat beer. It's a good sun beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. This has a nice clean finish. You could drink a lot of it. And it's not so high in ABV that you couldn't drive the boat.
Right.
I wonder if I should go gluten-free for a week or so and see if some of my many ailments are a gluten thing.
No.
Everyone else seems to
The human
think
body
it's a gluten
needs gluten.
thing.
You're fine. You're fine the way you are. There's other things you can cut out, but drinking more beer is probably not.
Cigarette breakfast, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, why would you do that? All right. It's a good beer, guys. Well done.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, we've got some more beer to talk with your cohorts there.
All right.
And we're also going to ask them for dirt on the two of you. Is that okay?
Yeah. I'll be staring at them when they're talking.
Great. Right. Well, I do have to get us to a quick break, but I appreciate you being on the program very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And can I say also, just I don't know the right way to say it, but congratulations on your tenure in this thing.
Yeah, great success. Thanks for being pioneers.
Yeah,
all the scars you have from that.
We don't get to, and I'm not calling you old, but I am saying that we don't get to talk to folks who have been around, in the industry when it was in its infancy, and it's always interesting to me. So I appreciate you guys very much.
That's right. Yeah.
It makes us feel good, too. There's not too many people almost live their dream of trying to live their entire working career into a brewery.
Right.
Did you guys throw a killer party for your 30th last year?
Oh, yeah.
We're still celebrating.
Nice.
I like it. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to get us to a break. Thank you so much for being on the program, and we will be talking to Tyler, who's a brewer there, and then their special projects manager, Derek, will be on with us when we come back. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, so let me do this. We'll get us to a break, and we'll try some more beer. They sent a lot of beer.
I like a lot of it. We drink a lot of beer.
You know what I forgot to ask about? We'll ask the brewers. They did one of the first pumpkin beers, JP.
Let's go.
Oh.
Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewers Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Thanks for sticking with us. Welcome back to the program. This next segment is brought to you by the Suds and Duds Society. Suds Duds Society is a brewery t-shirt membership where members receive a t-shirt, promo item, and a homebrew recipe from a different brewery each month. Small independent breweries throughout the U.S. will be chosen for excellence in the craft. A portion of each membership will go to the highlighted brewery and to sponsor a local homebrew club in their area. So you're doing two good things at once. Join the society by going to sudsdudssociety.com. Use coupon code BNARMY at checkout and receive a discount. Support small beer, one tea at a time. All right, we are still speaking with Lakefront Brewery, and we should have, I guess, Tyler Senz and Derek. Derek, I'm going to screw this up, man. Sproveri.
Oh, that was really good. First try. I commend you, sir.
Did I get it right?
You did.
All right. So Derek Sproveri is the special projects manager dealing with wood beer and special beers. And then we've got the brewer, Tyler, with us, too. So welcome, guys. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Ditto.
So your boss is like looking over your shoulder right now, making sure you don't fuck up or what?
Oh, of course.
Across the table.
How long have you guys been at the brewery?
I've been here just about 2.5 years.
And I've been here for about 5.
Okay, got it. So, yeah, tell us about the beer and the program. We've got a couple that you guys sent for us today. In fact, one of them, the Fuel Cafe Coffee Stout, which I believe is one of your certified organic beers, right?
Truth?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we were talking about the innovation with Jim and Russ before, and not only with the gluten-free, but you guys were also one of the first to do organic beer, too, right?
Yeah.
They really started off with the organic ESB, which was a phenomenal beer. But that was one of the first organic beers that we ever did.
Okay.
Later led to Newgrist, or so I hear. But Fuel is the one who keeps on trudging along.
Let's try this beer.
Even down to the coffee, we do a local coffee roaster by the name of Collectivo. Makes all their organic roast over, and we sometimes, we'll run out of a little bit of coffee because third shift gets long. And we run blocks down the road, and they just hand us over a sack, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the one they use is made specifically for a beloved cafe just right up in River West where we're located. And we use that house blend in every batch.
Really?
So, Fuel Cafe.
For Fuel Cafe, got it. Oh. And so all of your beers aren't organic. You just have these select few that are.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. We have the coffee stout. We have Belgian white, and then
barley wine.
Yeah, organic barley wine.
We also do have the what I believe to be the first barrel-aged organic certified beer, which is our Beer Line barley wine.
Okay.
Now, are there some tricky steps in getting in a barrel and being organic? Is there places where non-organic things can enter the system?
We actually had to get barrels from a place in Virginia, Catoctin Creek, which has since ceased to exist.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. So it's really hard now.
What did you do?
So we have to barrel age it, and it's not organic. Whatever. We'll deal with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can just put it on the label or something like the beer is organic.
No. Of course not.
See, that's...
We do have a few barrels still laying around, which is part of the fun of doing special projects. But
were the trees that the barrels are made from organic?
Good question.
I do believe they came from the mother Gaia herself.
Right, and the metal shot out of a volcano.
Right.
Now, but there are certain exceptions in organic beer, aren't there? Doesn't it? I'm asking, Ash. I don't know this, but I seem to remember we haven't done an organic beer show in a while. But I seem to remember that there's a level of non-organic ingredient that could be in there. For example, if you couldn't find the hops you wanted that were in an organic farm, you could substitute with something non-organic. Is that right?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Every single hop we use, hop malt, is all certified organic.
Got it.
That could be a California thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It probably is California.
We like to. We're very. We're changing California's name to hypocrite.
Right. Yeah.
It's organic until it's not, and then go ahead and do it.
And then it's fine.
But then you put an organic sticker on it.
By the way, if you just try something, it's healthy. It doesn't actually have to. It doesn't have to result in being organic, as long as you gave it the old college try.
That's true.
I feel that's true. You wait till those cheese curds come in; they are completely healthy and not organic.
I've already ate them.
Bevo and Kim Shimke are both highly disappointed that they don't have cheese curds in front of them.
Okay, I feel like you should just at least vouch for me. Like, I thought that they might have accidentally gotten thrown out, and I actually ran, which is something I don't do.
Whoa. Well, you walked fast.
No, I ran.
I did see her, yeah. In fact, when there's cheese curds involved, she's pretty fast.
It's a very important thing.
Yeah. She ran because somebody here at the Hop Grenade had just taken a load of garbage out, and I think she reread her email after just taking all the beer out and did not discover any cheese curds. So ran after our staffer who was running the garbage out, tackled him in the street.
And ate his ear.
And searched through every piece of garbage he had to see if there were cheese curds.
I did actually make him go back into the garbage area. It's all enclosed and smelling. I was like, I just need to make sure that there wasn't something in that box that got thrown away.
You made him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And by I need to make sure, meaning you need to make me sure.
I went in for like 5 seconds and started gagging because of the smell, and I was like, nope.
It's the only reason I showed it.
Have we common response, actually. I've seen people eat cheese curds out of the trash before. As long as they're right side up, they're all right.
I think that's a good rule, man. So for our listeners at home, of course, they sent us a bunch of beer, and then they sent cheese curds for Bevo.
And Kim.
And
I'm not the only.
He forgets that I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, you're not as bad as I am.
Also, it's obvious who they sent the cheese curds.
I was listed on that email. My name was in that email.
Don't be rude.
Sorry, but we didn't solve the mystery of the cheese curds.
We did. They haven't been delivered, so we're tracking them.
The
currently.
mailman took the cheese curds.
We are very accurately tracking them.
We will find them.
Yeah.
Well, by the time we find them is the thing.
I'm sorry if this is a completely stupid question, but you're used to it by now. Have you ever put cheese curds in beer? Like, is there cheese curd beer?
Not on purpose?
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
Oh, wait a second.
Right. I mean, because it's a thing there, right? These cheese curds. You'd think, and everybody does that.
Yeah,
like, we made the first cheese curd beer.
You think the oils would...
Yeah, kill head retention.
Or something.
Right.
But maybe like milk. Is milk... Well, yeah. God, I was going to say, is milk sugar a thing? But you have lactose, so...
See, here I thought I was the dumb question guy.
I'm a home brewer for a long time. I wonder if you can fake a cheese curd beer. Like dye it that weird orange.
Oh, my guest. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, do a milk stout, but no lactose, just cheese curds.
Have you guys done a milk stout there?
No, we haven't done a milk stout.
Okay.
We are a kosher brewery, actually, so we can't do that kind of thing.
You guys are gluten-free, sort of, organic, kind of, and kosher. Fuck
They're
it.
the half-ass brewery. They're perfect for the VN.
Yeah, you're our new favorite brewery, guys. All right, tell us more about the coffee beer. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
what is the base? We only talked about the coffee there, I think.
Base, we have straight 2-row, throw in some caramel 60, 120, roasted barley, some chocolate, and then just a touch of black to round it out.
And hops?
Hops, we use strictly organic Chinook.
Chinook, okay.
Add a handful in at boil start, and then just whirlpool it with coffee, about 15 pounds.
Okay, is that the only time there's coffee added, just in the whirlpool?
Just in the whirlpool. We used to add it at Knockout, at Flameout, actually. But then we talked to some roasters, and they said, well, maybe add it a little bit later. So we started throwing it into the whirlpool beforehand, because the temperature difference from the transfer actually makes a difference in the flavor. And they were right.
So like 195 versus 210 or something, kind of.
Exactly. It was right around that, I think, 200 to 202 range.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would be perfect for them. Like, yeah, all right. Works for me.
Yeah, that's so. Anything hotter, and you're just getting flavors you don't really want. Is that what?
Yeah, it gets more astringent the hotter it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just like say, you can burn coffee super easily. So.
Yeah, I wonder if that's when you get some of those like vegetal flavors we taste sometimes in coffee beers. You know what I forget the name for that taste, but
I know what you're talking
the
about.
pepper. That's the green pepper. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
exactly.
Do you guys do a whole bean edition or coffee grounds?
Grounds, coarse ground.
And you don't clog your heat exchanger with that?
Exactly.
Catch it just right at the time.
See it coming.
We've got a little squeegee to clean out the whirlpool with, which gets really exciting. It's usually best when that beer's at the end of the week, for sure.
Got it. That's a great beer.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's
All
good
right.
stuff, man.
And then the beer you did not send for JP, but you sent for Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a nice IPA in our glass here, too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
tell us about this beer while we taste it.
It's about as classic of an IPA as you can get. Start out bittering with Zeus again, then late edition Cascade, and Whirlpool Cascade.
You guys are big Zeus fans.
Well, it's just a generic neutral bittering.
It's just a good bittering hop, like
Yeah, it's
Magnum,
just-
or
yeah,
okay.
Well, you know, he's father of the gods, dude. What do you want?
True.
It's the Z in CTZ.
You are.
We've used Magnum
Thank
before, Bravo.
Yeah.
Got a
Oh,
spot
man.
bittering, but Zeus has been tried and true for us.
You guys got some really good Cascade hops. I can tell you that. Those are wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
What is
And
it? What do you
Sorry.
pick up when you say that, Tasty? What are the
It's
compounds?
not real grassy, but it's got that classic, I don't know,
You just know it.
and the citrus
Yeah.
character, yeah. And body. It has like a hot body in it. Like
Yeah, it's right around 6.6%. And we just add some caramel 20, caramel 45, kind of round out that copper color and just give you a little bit of body to enjoy that balance with.
Well, I appreciate drinking this beer, at least tasting this beer, because I took a sip and I'm going to throw it around. No, I'm kidding. That it's not pale yellow and thin, and just it tastes like base malt, and just the hand job that all the breweries out there try to give the guests and the customers. It's annoying. If quite frankly, everyone's just doing the same thing out here, but this is not the same thing, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, JP, I'm glad you said that. And actually, we're on the same page here tonight. What I was going to say is, a lot of times when you guys complain, all these IPAs are the same and everything, they just don't taste different. I always think you're kind of crazy. Like, I can see, there's a trend, but I can taste the difference.
Oh. Yeah.
But tasting this IPA makes me think that all the new IPAs taste the same.
Welcome to the right side.
It's like right when I took a sip of it, I was like,
we have a space for you.
Yeah, all of those other IPAs with the overly citrus, or sometimes not overly, but they all
Now it's tropical.
all leaning towards this tropical citrus.
Yes.
This one actually stands out now, and it makes me feel like a lot of the IPAs I've had in the last several months taste very, very similar, and this one is different.
I agree. I think there was a time when people were chasing innovation, and now a lot of people are chasing dollars. Because that's what they think people want. And if you make what you think people want, and that's the only thing people come in to buy, that's the only thing they're going to buy. Yeah. If you have 5 IPAs that are all tropical and quote-unquote juicy, well, of course that's what you're going to be selling. Yeah. But try something new.
This one's kind of earthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's malty.
Which I really like.
Yeah.
Well,
we're using the West Coast. We're calibrating to like the West Coast rule, which is no crystal malt. I mean, you can see all these yellow IPAs, and there's no color to them at all. Why? Because they don't use crystal. They use like single malts, or they'll mash high to get body in it.
I love
this
crystal
beer. Has
malt,
got
man.
like 2 different crystal malts.
Yeah.
I assume the low one is just to add body.
I miss that flavor. God damn.
Yeah.
Like, you can only get it in those one-off ESBs that people maybe sometimes sort of kind of do.
Yeah.
But use like Chico.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I think it's great. And I would, if I had a bottle of this, I would drink it.
And it's not absent of the citrus flavors too.
No, they're there.
Yeah,
like I
it's a
said,
nice
with the
hoppy
sea
beer.
hops in there, you got it. But yeah, I just like that kind of low-lying, earthy. There's even a little lemony something happening.
And it's almost like an old school IPA. Which I think is what the guy said. I don't know, but
That's
it's
a good
like
description.
You got the because it bypasses dank, and then it bypasses juicy, and then it bypasses tropical. It's still stuck in citrus.
Yeah,
which you don't get. It's a great, I don't want to call it a throwback beer because I think that would be kind of insulting, but it's a throwback beer. I really enjoy it, and it's flavor combinations that you used to get if you've been in the beer biz for a long time.
Which is this, that's what kind of what I'm saying. Like, I almost feel like if, like, people will be like, wow, that's a really new tasting IPA.
Right, yeah.
But what they mean is, well, we just haven't tasted that in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This has an actual malt backbone, and it's not just malt water like West Coast IPAs are.
I hope this isn't insulting to you guys at all, because I genuinely mean this as complimentary.
No, we've gone. We really like to keep it traditional and just do nice classic styles. I mean, even with the Pils and even the Dunkel and the IPA. I mean, even straight down to salting, just in the mash, which is just doing straight Burtonization. But
we didn't insult any other breweries out there, but there are trend hops floating out, and
right. And I still like those beers. I'll go out and I'll have one tomorrow, and I'm still going to enjoy it. But this is the first time where I've gone, wow, maybe they do all taste the same.
Well, and that's it. Really, is options. I mean, you go out and you look, and you have you go to wherever, and you have let's say 10 taps, and each representative of 10 different breweries, right? One tap for one brewery, but they're all the same kind of thing because they're showcasing what one brewery wants to push or what one brewery has a lot of. So inadvertently, I think you can go out as a consumer and you can just be used to have tunnel vision about this is what a style should be. And the one-off hops and the specialty hops are cool, and I think people should experiment with them. But just like the hazy IPAs, you can do whatever you want, but I really prefer personally if a brewery has a wide portfolio of things, because there's so much more to beer than alcohol and hops. So much more to it. I don't know if you knew that.
You lost me at
with the shop series as well, just a single hop, just to showcase those different hops as well. So we are broadening our horizons on that front.
Got it.
Just in case the hops would also give that nice beer backbone to it that we've done for 30 years.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Something I've noticed about all of your beers is that the recipe itself really stands out. The ingredients they have a way of standing out. So in the Pilsner, we picked it up right away. In the coffee stout, we picked it up right away. Certainly in this IPA, we're picking up on the malt and the hops. So I think a lot of breweries have great recipes, but they don't always kind of stand on their own like that. Is there your fermentation is fantastic, I'm thinking. Is there something that makes you able to, these recipes to kind of stand on their own and stand out, rather than just sort of muddle together? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we have great house yeast flowing around, and we just have a traditional ale yeast and a German lager yeast going around at all times. And
you guys, do you contain that yeast yourselves?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have your own bank of it. And
well, for the most part, we just run cone to cone for a lot of them. We'll run them out through a number of generations until effectively, you just start getting really terrible viability.
Okay.
And then we'll start a new strain out. But for the most part, that just sticks each ale strain and lager strain. We actually have about 5 different yeast strains going on at any point in time, depending on what kind of beer we're trying to make. But
when you need to restart it, it comes from your own yeast bank right there.
Oh, sorry. No, that's where the confusion is.
Okay.
We go through a few different yeast companies.
Okay.
But we have standard Cal Ale. We have just German lager yeast. Both come from White Labs.
Got it.
We do an English yeast, house English yeast, which actually comes from Imperial out in Portland. And I think we also get our Belgian wheat yeast from Imperial as well.
Got it. Imperial is a sponsor of our BNA 13 party.
Gotta love them.
Yeah.
Great brand. Nice.
Yeah, they're going to be there hanging out with us at the party, so that was very nice of them. And then, of course, White Labs is a sponsor of ours forever. So sounds like you guys are dealing with the right companies. I think that's the secret here that I was looking for.
No, it's just well-balanced recipes, tested time and time again to make sure it's the right balance. And
yeah,
we just get great fermentation. Absolutely.
I think you do too. Because do you see what I'm trying to say? Is like you guys are saying, well, we like to keep these styles classic. Okay. Well, a lot of times on this show, when people come in with their quote unquote classic beers, they're a little bit there's a type of beer that I just call unremarkable. And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean it's not good. It's just sort of, there's not much to talk about. It's just unremarkable. So, like, if I leave a brewery and somebody says, how was it? I'll say, oh, it was fine. As opposed to a brewery, I just really love this beer, I'll tell them what they should go try. Right. So a lot of times when we have breweries come in and they say, well, we just like to keep things classic, they're just somewhat unremarkable. But all of these beers, in their classic form, are quite remarkable. There's something to talk about with each one of them. There's all of these things that stand out, and that's what I'm saying is kind of unique with this brewery.
Thank you very much. I do think a lot of it has to do with choosing our terminal gravities correctly as well. Starting out at the right OG and making sure that we're crashing the beer when it needs to be crashed, and leaving what we need in the beer. We don't if we want to do a classic Pilsner, we'll dry it out a little bit more. This IPA terminal's going to be a little bit more, just leave a little more body in there, a little extra dextrin. But I think it's really, that experimentation has helped us out a lot.
So you build the recipe that way, right? Like you don't. I used to screw this up in the early years of the show when people would say, "Oh yeah, so when we get to the gravity we want, we crash it." And I used to think that meant like stopping fermentation.
Right.
But that's not what you mean. You build this in the recipe so that it stops where you need it to be.
Exactly, and that's we've used these yeast strains for so long now that we know how they're going to react. And I mean, yeast is so variable, but it's we've been able to conquer the yeast as much as we possibly can to make a great product.
Got it.
It's a big part of it.
And now that you're up to almost 50,000 barrels annually, are you still using the Frankenstein 7-barrel system? Or do you have something a little larger?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's it's still outside, though.
We have a pretty gorgeous
scaring the crows away.
50-barrel system off of a copper kettle, which is the only bit of copper that we have that isn't our brew stand anymore. Everything else is stainless.
Yeah, original manufacturing date, I think, circa 1956 on the copper kettle.
Wow.
65. God, I'm switched around. Either way, it's old.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Let's see
so
that.
So it's been adapted for your needs.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, really. We have, again, as Russ was saying earlier, each piece, we have a 5-vessel brew house, each from a different manufacturer, but we've been able to fit it to our needs, and our efficiencies end up coming out great.
So, since we've got the special projects manager here too, I want to ask you guys about your Black Friday.
Oh yeah,
which is apparently where a bunch of Wisconsinites stand in the November weather for 12 hours to get three total beers from you guys.
About that, yeah. Honestly, Wisconsin's pretty nice in November. We don't really get hit with like a real winter until around early January.
Got it.
But it might snow a couple times in October, just to give you the hint.
Okay, so we can take the weather out of the equation, but some dumbass is still hanging around for 12 hours.
Yep.
And it's still near freezing, though, right? That's nice in November.
Yeah, when they say nice, it's 34.
Right.
Hey, that's not bad.
Shirt sleeve,
Yeah.
So what is this beer people are waiting for?
So it's a Russian Imperial Stout that we've been doing for the last few years. First couple years we did it was an Imperial Black IPA, which is pretty fantastic, but it doesn't hold up in a cellar, as you may imagine.
Yeah.
But what we do is we age this Black Friday for, I'd probably say around 8 to 9 months, and then we bring her on in.
Wow.
And it's just it's something you can only get on Black Friday. It's sold once. My favorite tagline of any beer that we ever have is not available tomorrow.
Nice. I like that.
We've started doing a few variations. Last year we did our Reserve, which was just a XXX Black Friday, which was a blend of 2014, 2016, and 2017. And there was only 700 of those bottles around.
Wow. So the people are waiting because they come the night before or something to make sure they get a bottle. Is that what's happening?
Yeah. There's also like a little bit of prestige to it. The same 12 people have been the first 12 people in line for the last.
Wow. Because they line up in July. That's amazing.
But yeah, even I think this last year, the number 6 guy in line, he actually had his wife was very close to delivering their child.
Still
what an asshole.
Hey, there's this thing I got to go do.
Yeah.
And we did make him a deal that if he could give us a birth certificate, we would just give him a full allotment.
Oh, nice. If the baby was born during the time. Right?
Oh,
yeah. Do they make a party out of it? Like, are they kind of tailgating for overnight?
You have no idea.
I guess Brad, my favorite's the first 30 or so people. I like to show up and try to give them a little something special, to something that we haven't done before.
Nice.
Just like a little cask conditioned beer.
Okay.
Nice.
Just because I appreciate them, you know. If you're going, I don't believe in waiting in line for beer myself.
Me neither. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's fun to meet those people who do.
And by the way, I'm sure the beer is fantastic. I have had some of these beers that people wait for like that, and they're good.
Yeah.
I get that they're great.
Right.
I don't get the standing in line.
No.
I think it's more for the story at that point. They're just trying to party and trade bottles.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the 12 friends that wait in line. And
have a party indoors. And also, imagine being the 31st guy in line. Like, they walk out with, like, the first 30 people and give them free beer. That 31st guy's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, we're from Wisconsin. We're inviting of all people, late or not.
Somehow I can't picture a real line. I picture, like, a hole in the ice, and they're all just ice fishing and drinking beer to keep warm. Like, that's how I picture waiting in line for beer in Wisconsin.
They're on the lake. Does the line form on the lake and they just fish?
Right by the river, but I would not eat any fish that you found in that river.
Is that right? Okay. So like the Oakland River, then.
No, that's sludge.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's why it's not called the Oakland River.
No, right.
It's actually just the sewer.
It's called the Bay.
It's the runoff from the Raiders game.
Right. What about any other kind of unique one-offs that you guys are doing?
We've started doing something that we call a Brewer series, which is only available at the brewery. And what we do is we kind of have this open pool amongst the 7 of us who work downstairs, who just kind of say, okay, this is the beer that I want to make. And we just do a little quick 15-barrel batch of it. Very recently, Tyler was pushing for a hard Belgian series, so we kind of did everything from a single to a double to a triple to a quad. Dropped a little bit of that in a barrel just for kicks, because why not?
Okay. Now, do they like compete for that at all? You guys just rotate in staff to get to brew a batch?
Whoever submits a recipe, really. Whenever we're looking. I mean, since we only sell it on premise, you have to be careful about overproducing, and then you're stockpiling kegs.
Right.
Luckily, we have some beers that we can sit on for a while right now.
You guys are like the Brewing Network. I like that your bar is so low. Well, whoever submits a recipe. That's all right. That's why we're here. Like, whoever talks first. Go ahead.
That's pretty much what it is.
I like that.
So submit a recipe. All right.
So do you guys always have one of those on tap then?
Usually for the most part, yeah. Right now it's a little bit delayed onto it, but we did a second running beer of Black Friday. And just fermented off of an English ale yeast and just kind of made a nice, real smooth, crisp black ale out of her.
Nice.
Yeah, since it was our first time doing it, we didn't really know what to expect pre-boil, so we kind of had to make the recipe on the fly. Like, okay, well, we need to figure out what hops we're using and how much. Turned out.
I like it. Still homebrewing after all these years.
It never loses you, I tell you.
I'm supposed to ask who the cutest part-time employee is, Ryan or Kay?
Ooh, definitely Kay.
Oh, poor Ryan.
I'm going to put it for Ryan.
There we go.
All right, 50-50.
50-50 split.
All right.
Wow. I think we need a tiebreaker.
I was worried about Ryan there for a second.
Those Wisconsinites are so nice.
They are. They're like, really, Ryan's a shitbag.
Very polite guys. You guys are so nice. I like you guys a lot.
He's so nice.
He always loses these things, so we got to vote for him this time.
Yeah.
Ryan is the one who sent the cheese curds.
Oh, I'm sorry I called you a shitbag, Ryan.
Did he, though? If I forgot, let me tell you, I've lied several times about sending something that I never did.
So don't feel bad if you did.
He didn't send them securely.
Well, the good news is Bevo will just be here every day for the next week until those
I was
cheese
wondering why
curds show
she
up.
was here early. She calls me at 1. Do you know the login for Skype?
I asked her why she was here early, too. She was like, traffic.
No, that was
cheese
really
curds.
legit why I was here early.
Uh-huh.
God, I actually do things for this show.
No one
you know
says
what?
you
I
don't.
quit, and that's fine.
All right.
Have fun.
Don't say you don't do anything. We're just saying you would only show up early for cheese curds.
I show up early every single week.
You do?
You should stop doing that.
Yeah, I get here before everybody.
Wow. We touched the cheese curds. She's going through cheese curds withdrawals.
You're right.
She's on edge.
Her lactose level is very low right
dependent
now.
on them.
Ryan, I blame you for this behavior.
I blame you.
Hot Ryan.
Okay, mediocre. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, Hot Ryan in second place, K.
Yeah, we're all going for Katie.
You mean Ryan with a third nostril or Ryan with the left shoulder problem?
It's a lump on his shoulder that makes him look like Quasimodo.
Sorry, guys. That's what happens.
No apology necessary.
That escalated quickly.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the program and sharing your beer with us. It's really good stuff. If you're ever in the Bay Area, please come back and bring us more beer. We'll put you back on the show.
Hey, you got it.
Stuff's really good. And we'll have to come see you in Wisconsin there, right?
Please do. Open invite.
Folks at home, you can go to lakefrontbrewery.com and check it out. There's a whole about page where you can learn more about the history of the brewery. There's a beer page, of course. You can find out about the tour. There's videos. You can see how handsome these people are. You can do it all over at lakefrontbrewery.com. And, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to be on the show with us. It's a real pleasure, and the beers are fantastic, so thanks for that.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Take care, everybody.
Hey, you too.
All right, there you go. Lakefront Brewery, ladies and gentlemen. Really like that beer.
It was good times, man, yeah.
Everyone.
And I think that IPA stole the show for me.
I would tend to agree. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Rich, you're right over there. There's some in that bottle right there.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah, right on the tray.
There's actually one more bottle of every single
It's
style.
going back now. One, huh?
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, that's good because we have
They're from
another
Moscow.
segment
They're
to
from
do.
Moscow.
What am I going to do here? Oh, Great Fermentations. You can go to greatfermentations.com right now. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the biz in using Blickman products. They offer top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. Check them out at greatfermentations.com, and be sure to like them on Facebook at GR8 Fermentation, Great Fermentation, and Instagram and Twitter. They got it all. Go to greatfermentations.com. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to try some more beer because we can, and we've got some Twitter game stuff to do. Got to give away a prize for that, and I'm sure we'll find something else to do too. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending Mash and Boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe and until we're able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn the cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company on the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
Welcome back to the program. Thanks to Lakefront Brewery for hanging out with us. That was fun. And they sent great beer, so that made it more fun. If you want to know how to make a great IPA like they do, Brewers Publications has a book for you. You know, the IPAs are one of the most popular beer styles in the country, right? So if you're looking to brew an IPA that's not like all the rest, check out Dick Cantwell's newest book, Brewing Eclectic IPA, Pushing the Boundaries of India Pale Ale. Award-winning brewer Dick Cantwell includes 25 original IPA recipes and categorizes over 200 unique ingredients to spice up your IPA. So from papaya to peppercorn, beets to bog myrtle, and even cannabis, where legally available, of course. There are recipes for all levels of brewing experience. So order your copy of Brewing Eclectic IPA, Pushing the Boundaries of India Pale Ale by Dick Cantwell on brewerspublications.com or wherever books are sold.
On the internet, I think.
I was going to say the same thing. As soon as I read that, I was like, where are books sold?
Remember, there was a time
books
when...
are downloaded. I know that.
There was a time when you had to order a book to figure out what books to order.
There was a time when you had to...
The catalog?
Yeah.
I remember that.
There was a time when you had to drive to a physical location and look and wander through a building to find a book.
I saw Barnes & Noble the other day.
Yeah?
I don't know where
Was it open?
I think I was back in time.
They still exist. There's one in
Are
every
they selling beer now or something?
Yeah, I think there's one left
It's
in
the
the Bay Area.
Starbucks that's inside
Yeah,
that
right,
keeps
it's a-
them in business.
It's a coffee shop now.
Yeah.
Isn't there one like out in Antioch or something out there?
Oh, maybe.
I think there might be two in the Bay Area.
I drive right through Antioch as fast as I can.
I was just at one right across from Russian River while we were waiting to get seated. Candy was like, "Hey, can we go to that bookstore?"
And you were like, "What?
How much is this going to cost me?"
How much did it cost you?
Oh. Luckily, we only left with a board game, so that was nice.
Yeah. It's half-priced books,
And
right
this
there.
is why it's your fault that bookstores are out of business.
My fault.
She goes into a bookstore, comes out with a board game.
Oh, that's because I told her no to the 20 books she wanted to buy.
Oh, God.
You were scanning the UPC saying, "Oh, this is like $10 cheaper than Amazon."
Exactly right.
Or
Yeah.
zero at the good old library.
She has her digital Audible account that she can get them for free and download them.
She just wanted to be nostalgic.
Yeah,
To spend your money.
She likes the smell or feel or whatever she says about books.
I like holding
I
a
like
book
that.
rather than scrolling a book.
Yeah.
I prefer
The
that.
tactile experience.
I get that.
When I read.
But that costs more money.
I prefer that as well, the tactile experience. However, because I travel so much now, I download all of them, and it's easier than carrying books. Because I could have 10 books with me on the iPad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So now I find myself always doing the scroll thing.
The hand jerk
which
off
is
motion.
too.
It's
Which
not like
is
you're getting through that many books.
how do you know how many books I'm
Because
getting?
I know you, Justin. Are you getting through one book?
I get through like a book a week.
Magazines are not books.
I'm talking about books.
Real books?
What about the Audible
Kim's
ones where you
salty
just
right
listen
now,
to
dude.
it? Is that what you're talking about?
I can't do the listen to books thing.
Really?
Maybe it's because I'm an audio professional. I'm too distracted by the voices.
The quality,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
diction,
and,
gotcha.
and
The
judging
meter.
them, basically.
Yes, there's a couple
I'm a
books
judger.
that I've tried to read. Like I can't do it because this dude's like the way he reads.
Yeah.
I don't like it. The pacing and shit.
And
it's not
also because I'm crazy. Oftentimes I have to like read things over and over and over again because I just drift away.
Oh yeah.
And so I can do that with a book because I'll just be like, oh shit, you did it again, start over. But with the Audible one, it's a whole thing. I can keep pressing reverse.
Yeah.
Like I just can't.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same with me. Like we did the audio books for the Longmire series, which are fucking rad. The guy who reads it all scraggly voice, and it's really good.
Okay.
But yeah, you got to flip it back, and I felt like it was the same thing with me with books because my reading comprehension is not very great. I do the high school method where you just go through it as fast as you can, reading every word. You go, okay, I finished my assignment. I read the book, but I can't process anything of what's going on. And you have to reread it, but it was fine. I mean, you hit revert. Every audio player has like a 30-second backwards button. You kind of go, wait, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah.
It is distracting when they get creative with their own little character voices. I'd much rather if they just read it in their normal voice or pick a voice.
But that's why I would rather read it. I'll just read it myself then, because sometimes I'll do little character voices in my own head.
Yeah, sure.
And sometimes I won't. But with the audio book,
two things.
It's a whole thing.
I would love to hear the voices that you come up with in your own head. Actually,
just my normal reading voice is amazing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I listen to audiobooks all the time, but I listen to so that the voices and the pacing don't annoy me. I just up the speed to 1.5, so they read really fast.
Right.
Do you listen to Chipmunks?
But it's not as bad. No, it doesn't change like their pitch, but it just.
And he went through the dark
they don't have like.
It's how a lot of people listen to our podcast,
happened.
by the way. We've
and then
gotten
there's
a lot
this long
of feedback.
pause. It's unnecessary.
Oh, see, yeah, I can't do it. I got to read. Just got to read them.
Hell yeah, bro.
Till your eyes fall out.
Right. I know,
He's
that's
got glasses
next on the
with
list.
the digital thing too. Yeah,
his glasses hold his eyes in though. Isn't that why he got them?
I got them specially made for that.
Yeah.
To hold my eyes in. I'm reading. I do this a lot when people die. I go find out about them. I'm reading Anthony Bourdain's book, the Kitchen Confidential. I was always a fan. I'm a weird fan of a person like this. I have always loved the guy, but I could barely watch.
Yes.
Because I was insanely jealous.
Yeah.
I felt that he was so talented the way he did. I just really liked his approach and his delivery and his writing.
You've mentioned this before.
And then, of course, he had this dream job, too, right? So I loved him, but I could barely watch because of my jealousy, my narcissism.
Yeah.
But now that he's dead, it's cool, right? Because
it's over. And you got a better deal.
And the job's open.
So, yeah. Read that book in like 3 days. Great book.
Yeah.
And I recommend checking it out. He's a good writer.
He really is. Just listening to, I'm kind of the same thing. He was one of the celebrities I cared about, really, but I can't remember the last time I ever watched any of the content he made, which I guess is my fault. But I think some of it is that too, where he's better. I wanted to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And I was talking to someone online about it. And it's like everybody
who are you talking to online?
Just people. I don't know. Just
12-year-old in his
like
World of Warcraft chat.
Yeah, Facebook groups. You know, it's all right. It's fine. Actually, a pen pal letter, in the mail, jail people. Everybody who's ever written a review online wants to be Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
Everybody who, and specifically beer reviews, everybody who writes a flowery beer review is just trying to channel Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
They just are.
It's
annoying.
Here's what I think about that type of fandom. There's different types of being a fan, or the people that you're a fan of. There are those that do something that you could never do. Right? So I was a big Prince fan.
Yeah.
Not jealous at all, because there's no way on earth I could ever do anything remotely. Now, forget that. I probably have a better chance of being 5'2" than I do of creating anything like he did. So there's so with that, I can just be a fan all day long, no issues.
Right.
But then there's the type of person who does a thing that you're pretty sure you could do.
Oh, God.
And I think that Bourdain embodied that with a lot of these fans you're talking about, because and I don't know that they know that about themselves, but what they're doing is they're watching it and they're going, well, I could fucking do that. Like, he's good, but I could, and that's where it gets weird to be a fan, because the truth is, I couldn't do what Anthony did. he does it in such a natural way that it makes you feel like anybody could do it. That's a real talent. That's a skill. What's his name? Mike Rowe has the same skill.
Oh yeah.
And so they make you feel like you can do that, and then that's where you become this weird fan, and you start writing your beer reviews like you're Anthony Bourdain or anything else. But the truth is, you're not. The man had a real talent.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how he got this writing talent, by the way, because he
was super young when he started writing articles. I think for the Times, right? Is what his book morphed from.
Yeah, I think so. But he always, apparently had this like penchant for writing. So it's not like he was like this chef and was like, oh, I'm gonna spit out this book real fast.
I'm getting an 8-ball and crank out a book.
Although it
might have taken that. Yeah, that's how he did it.
There was a piece of it,
right?
But anyhow, I always find that interesting, and I notice it about myself that I can be a fan of people who there's no way I can touch what they do, or the ones that I get jealous of. It's because like I think I can do that, but if I really pull it apart, I can't do that. The way that guy did things, the way he made people feel, like when he did his interviews and when he goes to these third world countries, the way he made people around him feel was part of the beauty of those shows, and like not everybody can do that.
Well, yeah, I think he was even rarer than that. He was like a no bullshit taking empath.
Yeah.
He was very empathetic towards people, but he wouldn't take any shit. He was still grounded in what he believed, but he was open to talking to people and being sincere about it.
Yeah.
Which you don't really find too much in entertainment, I guess, in general. Like you can, everybody, somebody feed Phil. Have you seen that?
No.
That art? It's like, I think it's like one of the producers of Seinfeld or some bullshit like that. He goes around just eating, but he's this dude, slightly autistic maybe. I don't know.
Oh, maybe I have seen this.
And he's just super pumped and happy and like and just fires off jokes every now and then, but just experiences food and does this whole thing.
Right.
You can tell he's a very sincere person. Anthony Bourdain, I think, was the same way, especially in his narration, the way his writing would come off and the way he would interact with people. And that's kind of, everybody else just seems fake compared to people like these true, genuine people who are, I don't know if they're really themselves or not, but...
I think in part they are.
Yeah.
It's like us. Sorry, listeners, you just have to deal with this because obviously we're fans of Anthony and it came up and now we're going to talk about this. I lost my train of thought about what you said there at the very end.
Oh, he's being organic, being himself.
It's like an idiot abroad.
He's clearly partly himself, which is the same reason I think, for on a very different level, people like this show is that
we're not,
maybe we're characters in some sense, but we're also clearly bringing our lives in. But he was sincere about all kinds of things. Mike Rowe wrote this thing about him where he was just sincere in even how his TV show was produced. He didn't want it to be bullshit, and he went on some show where he went diving for octopi, and there were no octopi to be found. So the producers started throwing dead, like frozen octopi over the boat, so that they would like fall down where the camera crew was, seeing Anthony, snorkeling by. Right?
He blew the lid off that.
Anthony wouldn't have it. No. He spent the rest of the show getting drunk, like just drunk, and then finally in the end cuts actually exposes the bullshit, and he was like, I'm not going to have this bullshit on my show. I'm sorry you didn't get your shot, but my viewers need to know that this is not what we do. And so they put the clips of the throwing of the frozen octopi over the boat because he was like, not going to do it. So he was not only sincere himself, but I think he wanted his viewers to have a real TV experience. And TV is bullshit in that way. Like everything, it's funny that I talk to people sometimes and they're like, wait, that wasn't real? And I'm like, it's the most obvious thing I've ever seen. Right. Of course it wasn't real.
Right.
Now, I am a fan, by the way, of awful reality television. I have seen every episode of Jersey Shore at least once. I am a fan, but I am still very aware when they're like, hey, what happens if we do this? Like the producers do that, Anthony wouldn't have it. Anyway, big fan. Sad to lose him. There's a conspiracy theory out there.
Of course there is.
That Hillary Clinton killed him.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's.
We should probably put her in a cage, or maybe there's a more succinct way to explain that.
Deal with that.
Yeah.
There's always the conspiracy theories, but
can we just take belts and bathrobe belts away from celebrities?
All the people we love.
Yes. Can we just do that? No belts for 2018. Just everyone stop.
Yeah.
If nobody wore pants, you wouldn't need a belt.
Bathrobes.
If nobody wore pants, you wouldn't need a belt. That is profound.
We were ahead. We were ahead of our time with the No Pants Award.
Yeah, we could have saved Anthony.
That was the dumbest thing I've.
Anthony used the bathrobe belt.
That's true.
That's
You
what
just
I'm
haven't
saying.
thought about it enough.
No
Bevo.
bathrobes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Good.
But again, he's one of the people I cared about, I guess, one of the only celebrities, but I never watched his content. So I feel kind of like one of those,
Did you not watch
name
for
5
the-
of his albums.
Yeah, right.
Did you not watch for the same reasons I didn't watch, or just you didn't watch?
A little bit, but also I don't have. I've had cable for years, so it was harder for me to like track his content down. Actually, speaking of, I read a thing where Netflix is going to leave no reservations up on Netflix in perpetuity, just forever.
Okay.
Because he was just because
As they
that
should,
show is
yeah.
so good, and of course they should. It's good.
He's good.
It's good content.
And he ate weird shit. But
He's up for anything.
But not like the shows where they're just there
Andrew
to eat
Zimmerman or
weird
whatever.
shit.
Yeah, I
like that.
eat slimy shit that squirts in my mouth.
Yeah. Like,
I'm straight.
It wasn't like the thing. It was just, well, this is what people eat here, so I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
experience new stuff. Like I'm happy to go up to Portland and eat granola.
Oh, that is new.
That's so adventurous.
You eat what people eat locally. Granola and kale. I think you wad it up and shove it up your.
Yeah. You don't actually eat it. You butt chug it.
Yes. Yeah. You pawn it even.
Yeah.
You put it upon your anus.
It's called grailing.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was something else entirely.
Granola kale butt chug is a grail.
That makes Indiana Jones Part 3 seem very different.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
You put it in the hole.
Right.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah. This belongs
You're
in
welcome,
an
Portland.
anus.
All right, what do I got to tell you? Get your Beersmith brewing software. You get a free 21-day trial. Just go to beersmith.com. Check it out. It's the home brewing software. It's got the most. It's got everything. It's got all the things you don't even know you need. It's good. And it's free for the first 21 days, and then you'll buy it. Trust me, you'll buy it. Also, we have to do our Twitter game.
We do. Absolutely.
What was our Twitter game?
Our Twitter game was, now that the World Cup is upon us, I want you guys to name something else that Americans care less about. Most Americans.
How political did this get?
Us talking about Anthony Bourdain.
Right. So much regret.
Are we ready for it?
Yeah.
This is the last time I'm ever going to ask our listeners put the words Americans and what care less about.
Oh, they're so mad at you?
Oh, my God.
Like more than just one?
Yeah.
Did you respond?
A little bit.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they're baiting you.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's like long-form journalism. I'm like, okay.
See, this is when I hear you talk about it.
Sorry, mister, I have a subscription to the New Yorker. Or Americans don't give a shit about the government. Okay, bro, just can you chill? So I was like, dude, this is a beer show. We just relax.
Wait, I'm putting these two in the list.
Are you really?
Did you respond as you, or did you respond as Brewing Network?
No, it's the Brewing Network.
Okay, so I get to clean up your shit, is what you're saying.
Yep.
There's what makes you think that there's a backlash? It's all fine.
Because we know you.
It's fine.
You said there was a backlash.
And we know the internet.
So, yeah.
No, from my responses, no one cares.
Another thing Americans don't care about. JP's responses.
All I did was tell everybody just to relax. I was like, just calm down. It's fine.
Okay.
That's all.
That always works.
All right, so I'm ready. I like long-form journalism. I think that's a good answer.
I think it's stupid.
As the journalism major.
Right. Well, as I was reading in The Economist,
Yeah.
Brooks Edmond says JP's opinions on NEIPA.
Okay.
Jacob Mitchell says your lame Twitter game.
Whoa.
So that one's angry.
Shots fired.
So when you participated.
I like it.
Ooh.
Dave said Canadian football.
That's a thing.
Canadian football's a thing, yeah.
F00T.
No one gives a shit about.
Oh, it's like our kind of football.
Canadian rules football, yeah.
Right, yeah, but nicer.
Right. Oh, sorry about the tackle.
Sorry, I tackled you.
Oh, sorry.
Just don't push him around.
Oh, man, I feel bad. I intercepted the ball. Here you go.
Sorry.
Brendan Abbott says changing to the metric system.
That's true.
We care more about soccer than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Tony D says Justin's gross dying feet.
Good.
Gimme Good Beer writes the whereabouts of Doc.
Oh, I thought people do care.
I think people do care.
Apparently, one person doesn't.
But more people than soccer?
Edmund Medina says JP's opinion, just on anything, apparently. Mike Moss says ping pong. And
What's that ping pong sauce?
last but certainly not least, the very classic, very debonair Gordon Strong.
Yeah.
says the definition of craft beer.
Whoa.
And I can't tell if it's a burn or not, right? I can't tell if it's like, oh, Americans don't care about the definition because they're stupid, or no one really gives a shit and make whatever you want.
So why talk about it?
Right.
Yeah, right. Well, let's think about that. What does Gordon mean?
What would Gordon mean?
Right. He's being cynical.
WWGM.
Right?
I think he means nobody cares about what the definition of craft beer is.
And so stop talking about it?
Yeah. But he's pretty nerdy about craft beer, so maybe that's not.
I mean, the guy who works in the style guidelines, I think that feeds into craft beer, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. I think, who can tell?
Well, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm just curious.
No. That's it.
Want me to read the list that I wrote down? Because I wrote down pretty much everything.
Right? Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
Long-form journalism. Is anyone else going to vote for that?
No.
Okay, I'll scratch that out. No. The government. We care less about the government than soccer. Anybody going to vote for that? Oh, okay. JP's opinion on IPAs.
No. Not that fun.
I mean, I don't think any of us care.
Right.
Well, that's true.
Right.
We're over that.
Well,
that
makes it a pretty valid.
Are we most Americans?
Well, and then while we're on that, JP's opinion about anything.
That one I'll vote for.
Never
Okay,
cared.
That's a vote.
I'll vote for that one, too.
2
to be
votes.
honest with you.
Okay. Your lame Twitter game. I'm not going to vote for that one just because it sounds angry. I don't think he knows how to
Someone else actually just wrote in and says, your Twitter game. Y'all ain't even reading the dope responses. Where it's like, okay.
Was his dope?
I know.
I'm pretty sure y'all is reading them. I just wrote them all down on this here Post-it note.
Yeah. I read
y'all is reading them.
Y'all's reading them.
I read 9/10 of the responses. So the real Mike Fitz, he's real.
You didn't read y'all's.
He didn't write anything in. I don't even know.
He's just keeping it real.
He's just voting for that 1/10.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He likes the 1/10.
Or she. I don't know.
You know, he probably submitted. Shut up! Couldn't think of the word. He probably submitted a different Twitter game, and you didn't read it. And
to a different place.
He's a little sad.
I get a lot of those actually. I've been trying to win this Twitter game for 4 years now. Well,
you get a lot of disgruntled people apparently on Twitter.
Get good, I guess. I don't know.
Canadian football. Good answer, but
that was a good.
I don't think anyone's going to vote for it.
A little too on the nose, maybe.
Okay.
Calorie intake.
Changing to the metric system.
I vote that one.
I'm voting this one, too.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So that's 2 votes on that one and 2 votes on JP's opinion.
Wait. The final votes or just for the finalists?
So
just
far.
Get him into the running.
Yeah, we'll keep going, and then if you might have to be a tiebreaker.
I might be holding back for one more nomination. Okay.
Justin's dying feet. There's another word in there, too. Gross dying feet.
Gross dying feet, yeah.
Well, have you know that they're not dying anymore.
They are gross, though.
But are they living?
Yeah.
We'll have to check your pedicure.
The whereabouts of Doc. I thought that was
a good one.
Mm-hmm. No votes for that?
Well, I already voted.
Okay. And then the last one would be ping pong. Which is true.
That was funny.
Which is pretty valid. I'm torn between ping pong and changing the metric system.
The lives of immigrant children.
Ping pong is very popular in tech culture.
No one's even talking about changing to the metric system, though.
Right, because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
obviously.
We've made it this far.
All right, well, with Tasty not putting in a vote on others, that leaves us with the tiebreaker. You're the tie-breaking vote, Tasty.
Oh, here we go.
Between changing the metric system or JP's opinion about anything.
So ping pong never made it, huh?
Well, you didn't vote for it when I just read it.
Okay.
And
I like ping pong better than JP.
Right, so you care less about JP.
Yes. Not a person. The thing.
Right, so you wouldn't vote for ping pong then as something that you care less about. You care less about JP's opinion.
Yeah. When will now be now?
Yeah. We talk about this tomorrow, then I'll know.
Which do you care more? Which do you care less about?
JP's opinion or changing the metric system
versus soccer?
Probably changing the metric system.
So you care less about
it,
than soccer.
All right.
Wow, that was nice.
Then Brendan won.
All right.
Wow.
He's here.
He can collect his medal.
I kept forgetting that was an inside job there. He was just here an hour ago.
Perfect. We don't have to ship anything.
Yeah. We don't have anything. We never send anything anyway.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? I'm fine.
Beavis.
You've been so mean tonight.
I get here so early. I actually never leave.
I get here early to send shit.
send something right now, right up your ass.
Granola, they don't sound like that.
Granola and kale right up your dick holes.
You mean what did I call it?
Grain father?
Holy Grail?
A grail?
It was a grail.
Grailing?
Grailing.
I'm going to get grailed.
I'm going to grail you.
We're going to have a...
Girl.
Girl, you going to get
I'm going to grail you. We're going to have a grail party at the BNA 13.
Are we?
Hey, go to NeshemitieCreekBrewing.com and check them out. They've been on the Philly Beer Map since 2012. They got a whole bunch of Philly Beer Scene Magazine awards. Two-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner. Also a bronze for their smoked lager. Large, expanded, and recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are rotating and seasonal limited beers. Variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers to oak-fermented saisons and sour beers. Free brewery tours on Saturdays. Check them out at NeshemitieCreekBrewing.com.
They should send us a bunch of beer.
Wait. Didn't they? That we never got?
If they had, we'd send have one right now.
Either with the cheese curds.
All right. Listeners are going to get that one.
Yeah.
So we're going to be at HomebrewCon next week. It's next week already, isn't it?
Week from this coming Saturday.
Yeah, next week.
This week.
Not
We're
this
gonna be
current
there?
week, but next week.
Yeah, it starts on Thursday afternoon.
We're doing an event at our booth on Friday, I believe at 2 o'clock with White Labs. You should come check us out there. We're going to do a Ask the Doctor game show.
Okay.
Come in, ask Dr. White from White Labs, of course. Questions about everything. And win prizes.
Yeah.
So come do that with us and White Labs. I also just found out I am. I might still put this over on you. I'm emceeing a wing eating contest.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Is it at Hooters?
It's not. Otherwise, I would never pass.
You would
it
not
along.
delegate that.
No, it's right there in the hall of the HomebrewCon in the expo.
Okay.
God, that is going to be disgusting.
I know. And when I said yes to doing it, because they're like, "Oh, we need an MC," and I'm like, "Oh, I can do that." I forgot that I get really grossed out watching people eat.
And they're just going to be
Especially
it.
like anything. Like I don't know if you've ever seen me eat, but I have to wipe my face after every single bite.
Yeah.
And I can't look at anybody else eating around me because, like, God forbid I watch Beardy eat. Like if one little thing gets caught in a hair or something, not his fault. Right?
Well, it is kind of his fault. But
Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, they also like spicy wings, so their nose are nose is gonna be running with
No,
snot.
I didn't think about any of this, and I agreed to do it until like after I got off the call today, and I was like, "Oh fuck." Like, I have a really strong gag reflex, basically, when this happens.
That'd be better if you just
gagging.
threw up.
Yeah, you gagging during the MC job would be pretty good.
I think it'll help everybody eat better wings.
So if you didn't want to show up just for their contest, show up for me and that.
Yeah, right.
I didn't think about it. I didn't think it through. I was just trying to be helpful. It was the AHA that asked me, and I was like, sure, MC the thing, no problem.
Do you want to watch me eat wings in preparation?
No. I just have to go full on mind over matter.
What's that? What was that thing we covered on Lunch Meat? ASMR or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
With the mouth clicking.
Yeah, you should just watch 10 hours of that content of someone eating candied apples to get over it.
I mean, also like watching the people eat, but can you imagine what that's going to sound like?
Oh God!
I read an article that
like
intelligent people get annoyed by the sound of people eating. And it's always grated.
So don't feed him lies.
See what I'm saying?
It's
here?
always grated on me. I've had to leave the room sometimes when people are eating and it's quiet enough.
So he's trying to say he's
cool humble brag, by the way.
Well, I'm also complimenting Justin.
Yeah, listen, guys. Sorry you're not geniuses, okay? But the smart guys over here are about to throw up.
I'm sorry. Raise your hand if you enjoy listening to someone chew.
We're all geniuses.
Freaking stupid.
That's our litmus test.
Right, the people that do are really dumb.
More like limpness test.
So I got that going for me.
Well, that's nice, man.
So that's why you made a rule a long time ago. We can't eat during the show. Huh?
Yeah. Well, that would help.
Chop.
Yeah. So that I didn't throw up.
Yeah, throw it in the middle of the show.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. I am pretty good from time to time at the whole mind over matter thing.
Oh, there you go.
If I could just look at like a period of time, I just have to power through it. But if for one moment I get hung up on somebody's face or like whatever goo is dripping from them, all hell could break loose.
And also you're emceeing it, so wait, doesn't that mean you have to be like, number 14's really pounding those wings?
I do.
You got to get the microphone and ask him how he's doing.
I got to do all that. I got to get in there. And
I can help you. We can do it together if you want.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I could be the look at Ed over there. He's about to inhale that wing. Don't choke.
See, I
don't know if I could do that.
But wouldn't it be funnier if you're just there and when I disappear, you just and don't even explain it.
Yeah.
Just like nothing ever happened. You're just all of a sudden you're the MC.
Just shift it. We should dress the same.
You should wear the same clothes.
Yeah. Or you could be behind the partition, and I can be at least just like watching everybody and giving you a play-by-play. I could be your color man.
My color man.
Or you should just start emceeing Justin throwing up behind.
Exactly. And here it goes. Mr. Crosley, I can see his shoes coming out of his mouth.
Well, if you want to see all the fun, you can go to homebrewcon.org and get your tickets. Come hang out with us in White Labs at the BN booth on Friday at 2. And then, of course, go buy tickets to BNA 13. You can do it right now at thebrewingnetwork.com. Rumor has it Shimke will be there.
I'm there. I already bought my ticket. Everyone told me it was sold out in Portland, but you know what? I managed to find a way.
That sucks.
Wow.
She bought a ticket to BNA 13?
No,
How
I bought a ticket
bad
to
of a
Portland.
boss am I?
To Portland.
Okay.
Those two things are different questions.
I'm not.
Those are different things.
No, you said you were gonna buy me shots of tequila
Oh, okay.
At BNA 13?
after BNA 13.
Oh, Jesus
Because that's when we go to the strip
Sassy.
clubs.
Yeah, girl.
Which I'm charging that time on my invoice.
What the fuck?
You can't
A line
social
item,
media.
2 hours at Sassy's.
Well, then there better be some goddamn good social media coming out of that visit.
I don't think they allow you to use your phones inside those
Sounds like
places.
you're barred then.
True.
There you go.
Are you going to Homebrew Con or just to Portland and to BNA 13?
I can do part of Homebrew Con. I get in late Thursday night.
I mean, you don't have to. There's no pressure.
Yeah, I don't have a ticket.
Yeah, Homebrew Con's all sold out.
I guess I'm just going to BNA 13.
So, yeah. Also, we're busy every night.
Or maybe I'm participating in the wing contest.
Oh. Yeah, what if I want to sign up for that, John?
Oh, do it. I think you should.
I don't know if I could.
You should.
Would you just watch him eat?
We could compete against each other.
Just wait till the end, eat 4 wings. Everybody else is already thrown up by then. You've got the most in. You know?
Dude, if you dominated that, how cool would that be?
Do you have to like dunk the wings in water like the hot dog eating contest?
Well, I imagine they're soft.
I'm kidding.
They must be.
Well, that's to wet the bun.
Yeah, right.
I feel like it's dangerous with the bones and stuff and the fast eating of the wing.
Yeah, like I would like to read the fine print. I'd like to pull a Warren and read the fine print about something, but not do it in 5 hours. Like,
how much chicken?
Gristle?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking like the old 76er or whatever from Great Outdoors or what?
Beardy, you're the one with the wing displacement technique.
Oh yeah, I know how to peel those things.
You can debone a wing in like seconds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You want me to peel your wings?
No, I can do it.
Now I'm really gonna throw. If Beardy's saying like peeling and feeding,
Can we tag? Because if there was a 2-man wing eating contest, it's like a rally car.
Yeah,
I'd be a driver and a navigator.
Right, yeah.
I need you to navigate me full of wings.
It's like a different type of mama birding.
Ride it like a car.
I can't do it.
Sounds like I'm going to be in a wing eating contest.
Halvesies.
See, I definitely couldn't watch Beardy do it. Because with the pieces all over the beard and
there's going to be guys like that there.
Yeah, you know where you're going, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason I avoid that kind of food.
It's going to be tough to give a play-by-play when I can't look.
Yeah.
Really. All right, well,
don't wear
that's
your
happening.
Yeah, right.
Without the glasses, you won't be able to see.
Oh, that's a good technique.
Good idea. I could just get like a blurry thing, and this guy's got chicken in his face.
Yeah, just don't have headphones on or any sort of monitors or whatever.
Yeah.
You won't hear it. There'll be a lot of people cheering. You'll never hear them slurping and smacking.
But I'll be like saying things that aren't even happening.
Probably.
And then,
but that's all right. No one will know.
Right.
It's probably free admission, so I wouldn't worry about people.
That's true.
Complaining.
Okay, next week's show, I will not be here, or who knows when I will be here again. But you guys are doing a show. Is it Japan beer again? Is that what's happening?
It's Rye and Gareth.
Gareth is an expat living in Japan.
Exactly, and I don't have Rye's last name, but he's a brewer there, and they're both going to be in studio.
Okay, cool. Rye's always great on the program.
Yeah,
he's a lot of fun.
Good
So,
guy,
all right. So tune in next week where JP will be at the helm, and these guys and gals will do a great job, I'm sure. And then we will see you at HomebrewCon.
That's true.
I'll be there.
Cool pod.
Question mark?
If the RV makes it to Portland, there are 2 trips in between.
I'll
here
be
and there.
flying, so.
So well, listen, let's not jinx yourself.
Well,
here.
go see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Don't say
airplanes.
that.
There's a Southwest that took a nosedive, 10-second nosedive, taking off to San Fran. So
It means the prices are going down.
I'm
again.
like I'm the worst. I don't give a fuck about I just feel like when it's your time, it's your time. Yeah. So like when I text people like, "Oh, taking off," like I'll text you if I land. Like I don't give a shit. And I'll watch like the plane crash, Discovery Channel videos like on the flight.
You are the worst.
I just feel
if
like
I were sitting next to you, I would stab you.
People will say, like, have a safe flight, and you're like, I have zero control over any of
Yeah,
that.
right,
So,
yeah.
what happens.
It's just gonna happen.
Like saying good luck.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but. It's your time.
I think your odds would be better, though, on a flight than in the RV.
Oh, I am much more likely to die in the RV.
I think that will be. It's a matter of when, not if.
drive or park.
In fact, I wish that we had more resources. If we had like a great statistician here, I bet that it's staggering the likelihood I would die in the RV compared to a flight to Portland.
Statistician.
Statistician.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. See, I don't like the sound of eating or whatever.
Right,
That's
yeah.
genius.
Listen to us to leave your not liking eating sounds. Where are your cheese curds at?
All right, so
God, I
follow
wish
along
I
on
knew.
thebrewingnetwork.com. You're going to see some videos from NHC, and then also on the road, we'll put it on our YouTube page. So JP will be reminding you of that. Also, we've got some new shows coming out on the Brewing Network. We're going to be releasing a show on craft beer marketing. You're going to see that on the website next week. And I'm recording tomorrow. We're doing a Spanish-speaking podcast.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, I'm fluent. No, I'm just kidding. I'm producing it, but it's an all in Spanish-speaking. Think of Brew Strong meets Mexico? I don't know.
Yeah.
Spanish speaking.
So basically just trying to get some of the great information that we've done here on the Brewing Network out to the Latin-speaking world. So,
Sounds great.
Do they get podcasts
So
down
look
there?
out for that. I think so.
The internet goes there.
Yeah, they have to hand-deliver them, though.
Yeah, they come like cassette tapes.
They're called cassette tapes. They're called 8 tracks.
Cassette cast.
So that'll be out in a couple weeks. I'm recording our first shows tomorrow, and then we'll get that up for you, too. So all of you, although I assume if you're interested, you can't even understand what the fuck I'm saying right now, but all of you interested in a Spanish-speaking brewing podcast, stay tuned to the Brewing Network. All right, JP, are you ready to get us out of here?
Sure, man.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks.
Text us if you land.
Oh, wait. This has to start. There we go.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Lakefront Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin shipped us beers and even tried to ship us cheese curds, all just to talk craft beer. Find out more about them over at lakefrontbrewery.com. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. Follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy. Jason, I wrote a foreword to a very serious book written by a lawyer. Petros fully understands that Twitter is dead, and you should follow him on Instagram at Major Jip. And Bevo is hanging out on Instagram as well at Beverly Moore. Be sure to find the Brewer Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP